Kính thưa toàn thể quý vị đại biểu, phiên khai mạc hội nghị và triển lãm được tổ chức vào ngày 27 tháng 9 năm 2018 là ngày Đảng, Chính phủ và nhân dân Việt Nam tổ chức lễ quốc tang cho Chủ tịch nước Trần Đại Quang.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony and exhibition of the ICT Investment Forum today. Today is the day that the party, government and people of Vietnam organize the state funeral for President Trần Đại Quang.
Ban tổ chức trân trọng đề nghị toàn thể quý vị đại biểu cùng đứng dậy dành 1 phút mặc niệm Chủ tịch nước Trần Đại Quang. Xin kính mời.
We would like to invite all of you to stand up for 1 minute to commemorate Mr. Trần Đại Quang. The moment of silence begins.
Phút mặc niệm bắt đầu. Thôi.
Thank you.
Kính thưa các vị khách quý cùng toàn thể quý vị đại biểu, thay mặt ban tổ chức cho phép tôi và đồng nghiệp dẫn chương trình gửi lời chào trân trọng và chào mừng quý vị đại biểu tới tham dự Hội nghị xúc tiến đầu tư quốc tế ngành thông tin và truyền thông Việt Nam ICT Investment Forum và triển lãm India ASEAN ICT Expo với chủ đề Kết nối số trong cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, please allow me, on behalf of the organizing committee, to send the best greetings and welcoming all of you to attend the ICT Investment Forum today and the India ASEAN ICT Expo titled Digital Connectivity in the Fourth Industrial Revolution today.
Hội nghị sẽ diễn ra trong 2 ngày, từ ngày 27 đến ngày 28 tháng 9 năm 2018, bao gồm 3 nội dung chính: hội thảo, triển lãm và kết nối doanh nghiệp với sự tham gia của khoảng 500 đại biểu trong nước và quốc tế. Trong quá trình diễn ra hội nghị, ban tổ chức chuẩn bị tiệc trà tại sảnh ballroom tầng 2, ăn trưa tại phòng Thăng Long ballroom tầng 7.
The forum will take place in 2 days from 27 to 28 September, covering 3 main components: workshop, exhibition, and business matching, with the participation from up to 500 national and international delegates. During the forum, the organizers prepare tea break at the 2nd floor and lunch at the Thăng Long Ballroom at the 7th floor of the Melia Hotel.
Ban tổ chức cũng xin được lưu ý, hội nghị sẽ không in tài liệu giấy. Toàn bộ bài trình bày được đăng tải trên trang web chính thức của hội nghị viiforum.vn.
And there will be no hard copy material of the forum. All presentation will be uploaded into the website viiforum.vn.
Kính thưa toàn thể quý vị đại biểu, tới dự hội nghị ngày hôm nay, ban tổ chức xin trân trọng giới thiệu sự hiện diện của các vị khách quý. Xin nhiệt liệt chào mừng ông Phan Tâm, Thứ trưởng Bộ Thông tin và Truyền thông.
Ladies and gentlemen, attending the conference today, I would like to introduce the president of the distinguished guest, Mr. Phan Tâm, Vice Minister of MIC.
Ông Ravi Khan, Thứ trưởng Bộ Truyền thông Ấn Độ.
Mr. Ravi Khan, Deputy Minister of Communication of India.
Ông Sok Puthivut, Phó Quốc vụ Khanh Bộ Bưu chính và Viễn thông Vương quốc Campuchia.
Mr. Sok Puthivut, Under Secretary of State of Ministry of Posts and Telecommunication of the Kingdom of Cambodia.
Ông Surya Khambothawong, Giám đốc Trung tâm Thúc đẩy Công nghệ Thông tin và Truyền thông Bộ Bưu chính Viễn thông, Lào.
Mr. Surya Khambothawong, Director General of Lao ICT Promotion Center, Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications.
Đại sứ đặc mệnh toàn quyền các nước Ấn Độ, Thụy Điển, Cuba, Peru.
Ambassadors of India, Sweden, Peru and Cuba.
Và đại diện lãnh đạo Ủy ban Nhân dân, lãnh đạo các sở thông tin và truyền thông, các tỉnh Lai Châu, Bắc Ninh, Nam Định, Bắc Giang.
And also we'd like to welcome the chairman of the People Committee of the Lai Châu, Bắc Ninh, Nam Định and Bắc Giang province.
Ban tổ chức cũng xin chào mừng sự tham dự của các đại biểu đến từ các bộ, ban, ngành, địa phương, hiệp hội chuyên ngành, đại sứ quán các nước, các doanh nghiệp ICT trong và ngoài nước, các sở thông tin truyền thông và đại diện các cơ quan thông tấn báo chí đã tham dự hội nghị ngày hôm nay.
We also welcome the participation of delegates from ministries, professional associations, embassies, domestic and foreign ICT enterprises, Provincial Department of Information and Communication, and news agency attending the forum today.
Trước tiên, xin mời toàn thể quý vị đại biểu hướng lên màn hình để xem video clip giới thiệu về sự phát triển công nghệ thông tin truyền thông của Việt Nam.
First of all, we would like to invite all delegates to look at the screen for a short video for the development of ICT in Vietnam.
Vietnam, country with 1,000-year-old heritage, ranked one of the 10 finest destinations in world travel according to leading travel magazines. In the past quarter of a century, Vietnam has been the second fastest growing country in the world. Revenues from industrial and service sectors account for an increasing share of the economy. Telecommunications, information technology, and electronics manufacturing have become pivotal economic sectors of Vietnam in recent years. By 2017, the total revenue of the 40,000 businesses operating in these sectors amounted to $110 billion, or nearly half the size of the economy. Telecommunications continues to play an important role in the economy's infrastructure. In 2017, Vietnam's telecom revenue reached $15 billion. The industry's growth has averaged 6% per annum over an extended period of time, making Vietnam one of the top 10 developed countries in the world in telecommunications development. Since the early 2000s, Vietnam has truly embarked on a revolution of popularizing telecommunication services. As a result, the mobile coverage has been extended to 99.5% of the population. 95% of the population have access to 4G LTE services, while fiber optic internet has penetrated nearly 100% of the towns and villages. Vietnam's fixed broadband tariffs are among the cheapest in the world. Data from many research organizations show that by 2017, the number of internet users in Vietnam is about 60 million, equivalent to more than 60% of the population. Vietnam has made great strides in the software industry, digital services, and content. In the past few years, the Vietnamese government has adopted many policies designed to engender a nation of entrepreneurship. This facilitates the emergence of a plethora of startups in the technology arena. Vietnam's IT industry now has more than 20,000 businesses with total annual revenue of $9 billion. Vietnamese consumers are becoming more familiar with the modern convenience brought about by the evolution of technology. These include e-commerce applications, digital banking, education management systems, healthcare and smart farming, software for entertainment, healthcare or online learning. Many of them are innovative products built by Vietnamese businesses. All are contributing to a dynamic IT market in Vietnam. Electronic and telecom equipment manufacturing is experiencing robust growth at a remarkable rate of 38% per year, representing significant export turnover and an important contribution to the national GDP. The government of Vietnam recognizes that in the fourth industrial revolution, the promotion of electronics, telecommunications, and information technology industries serves as a great opportunity for Vietnam to participate in the global IoT market with over 30 billion connected devices by 2020. Leveraging this trend, Vietnam's major telecom corporations, such as Viettel and VNPT, have stepped up investment in the telecom industry manufacturing sector, placing Vietnam fifth in the world in terms of telecommunication equipment production. In recent years, the Vietnamese government has created a favorable investment environment by issuing preferential policies to attract foreign investment, especially in the areas of high-tech manufacturing and research. For example, in 2010, Intel Corporation inaugurated its largest assembly and testing plant in Vietnam. This $1 billion worth factory was established to manufacture chips and mobile devices for customers worldwide. Since 2008, Samsung has built 3 high-tech complexes worth more than $17.3 billion. By 2017, nearly one-third of Samsung's smartphones are made in Vietnam. Profits from the 4 subsidiaries of this corporation in Vietnam amounted to $5.8 billion. Vietnam has been an attractive destination for multinational corporations, foreign investors in the areas of telecommunications, IT, and electronics manufacturing.
The education system is improving year over year, and so that bode very well. And then we also look at the infrastructure, things like roads and airports, power and water, all of the things that we need to operate our facilities. I'd say another big part of that was that the Vietnam government really wanted Intel in their country. Everything that the government said that they would do for us, they have done.
Vietnam is the place to be moving forward, and there's a lot of interest, not only from ASEAN countries, but APAC, as well as European nations and companies from abroad that are looking at investing in Vietnam, especially in the areas of high-tech, which is important. I think the next wave of FDI, foreign direct investment, needs to be high-tech intensive.
Vietnam views human resources as one of the most important factors for the development of the IT industry, turning the golden population into a digital advantage in integrating with the digital economy and the division of labor. Not only the Vietnamese market also owns a high-quality human resources in the field of telecommunications, information technology is ready to meet the demand of human resources in the country and international investment projects. Vietnam has been able to reach international markets, export and outsource software to fastidious markets such as Japan and the USA. Having achieved successes in domestic market, many Vietnam's ICT have had the confidence to invest outward. Especially, Viettel Group has more than 10 years of foreign investment and now is operating in 11 markets in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Viettel is serving more than 100 million global customers and is one of the 15 largest telecommunications companies in the world. This company also pioneered non-telecommunication fields such as cybersecurity, information technology, or telecommunication manufacturing. A potential market, a priority policy system for high-tech development. A well-rounded, skilled, and many potential businesses are looking forward to expanding international cooperation. Vietnam has sufficient factors to bring success to investors, and more importantly, we also have many difficult issues that can only be solved by expanding cooperation with international friends. It could be building smart cities, smart agriculture, or e-government. It could be the improvement of capacity for health, education, transportation, and environment systems through artificial intelligence or other next technologies emerging from the fourth industrial revolution.
Nên tôi nói rất nhiều về khát vọng ước mơ của chúng ta. Tôi có quyền ước mơ một khát vọng lớn, nhưng bắt đầu từ những việc làm cụ thể, thiết thực Và tôi hoàn toàn tán thành là chúng ta có quyền và nên là có một cái khát vọng dân tộc ước mơ về xây dựng đất nước, đưa nước ta thành cường quốc với công nghệ thông tin.
Vietnam has the full potential and aspiration to integrate and catch up with the development of the fourth industrial revolution. We are working towards becoming one of the region's leading players in telecommunications, information technology, software manufacturing, and high-tech industries. Vietnam also understands that only by promoting international cooperation and connecting with our friends all over the world, we can succeed in our path, and that is why we are here in a forum like today. Because cooperation is the platform for every success, may we quote a famous African saying that is known by heart by most of Vietnamese people. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Tiếp theo là video clip giới thiệu về triển lãm India ASEAN ICT Expo.
And next we'd like all delegates to look at the screen for a video on the development of the India ASEAN ICT Expo.
Thưa quý vị đại biểu, để bắt đầu chương trình, tôi xin trân trọng kính mời Thứ trưởng Phan Tâm lên phát biểu khai mạc hội nghị.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to start the program, I'd like to invite Vice Mr. Phantom of MIC to have opening remarks. Please welcome.
Kính thưa Ngài Ravikant, Thứ trưởng Bộ Truyền thông Ấn Độ. Kính thưa ông Suk Putivut, Phó Quốc vụ Khanh, Bộ Bưu chính Viễn thông Campuchia. Kính thưa các ngài đại sứ. Thưa quý vị đại biểu, các vị khách quý. Trước tiên, cho phép tôi được thay mặt Bộ Thông tin và Truyền thông nhiệt liệt chào mừng các vị đại sứ, đại diện lãnh đạo các cơ quan tổ chức nước ngoài và quốc tế tại Việt Nam, lãnh đạo các ban, bộ, ngành, hiệp hội, lãnh đạo các doanh nghiệp, các nhà đầu tư trong và ngoài nước, lãnh đạo các địa phương, các cơ quan báo chí cùng toàn thể quý vị đại biểu và các vị khách quý đã đến dự hội nghị xúc tiến đầu tư quốc tế ngành thông tin và truyền thông và triển lãm India ASEAN ICT Expo 2018. Thưa quý vị đại biểu, cách mạng công nghiệp lần thứ tư đang tạo ra những chuyển đổi chưa từng có trên tất cả các lĩnh vực kinh tế, đời sống xã hội và thậm chí đến tận từng người dân. Tiêu biểu là sự nổi lên của những mô hình kinh doanh mới, sự thay đổi trong phương thức sản xuất, sự chuyển dịch trong các ngành công nghiệp và dịch vụ. Những chuyển đổi này là cơ hội và là động lực cho các nước đi sau vượt lên trước thông qua việc nhanh chóng tái định hình cơ cấu sản xuất, và dịch vụ của nền kinh tế. Dựa trên nền tảng số hóa và sự hội tụ của nhiều công nghệ, cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0 sẽ tạo ra một thế giới kết nối số với số lượng thiết bị kết nối khổng lồ, mà hệ quả mà chúng ta đang và sẽ chứng kiến là những sự chuyển dịch mạnh mẽ của ngành công nghiệp. Công nghiệp sẽ dựa ngày càng nhiều trên nền tảng số hóa và công nghệ như Internet kết nối vạn vật, dữ liệu lớn, trí thông minh nhân tạo và in 3D, vân vân. Trong bối cảnh đó, Chính phủ Việt Nam đã và đang quyết tâm xây dựng tầm nhìn, định hướng và chính sách trong tất cả các lĩnh vực, ngành nghề để tận dụng lợi thế vượt trội của các cách mạng công nghiệp lần thứ tư mang lại. Đối với lĩnh vực công nghệ thông tin và truyền thông, Bộ Thông tin và Truyền thông sẽ trình Chính phủ xây dựng các chính sách ưu tiên để đáp ứng và tạo đà cho sự chuyển đổi của các ngành kinh tế, công nghiệp và dịch vụ với một số trọng tâm như: thứ nhất là khuyến khích phát triển hạ tầng số, bao gồm hạ tầng băng rộng và cơ sở hạ tầng dữ liệu, hoàn thiện mạng di động 4G, nghiên cứu triển khai sớm 5G, đáp ứng yêu cầu kết nối vạn vật trong thời gian sớm nhất. Thứ hai là đẩy mạnh phát triển công nghiệp viễn thông, công nghệ thông tin, kết hợp giữa phát triển công nghiệp nội địa và thu hút đầu tư nước ngoài, đón nhận sự chuyển dịch trong chuỗi sản xuất của các tập đoàn đa quốc gia để đưa Việt Nam trở thành một trung tâm hàng đầu của khu vực về sản xuất thiết bị viễn thông, công nghệ thông tin và thiết bị IoT. Thứ ba là phát triển nguồn nhân lực và đào tạo kỹ năng số để người lao động được trang bị đầy đủ các kỹ năng đáp ứng yêu cầu làm việc trong tương lai và để không ai bị bỏ lại trong cuộc cách mạng công nghiệp này. Thưa các quý vị, cùng với quyết tâm cải thiện môi trường chính sách để sẵn sàng cho cuộc cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0, Chính phủ Việt Nam đã và đang không ngừng nỗ lực đổi mới và hội nhập quốc tế. Nỗ lực này đã mở ra không gian hợp tác rộng lớn cho sự phát triển và tạo môi trường thuận lợi cho các doanh nghiệp đầu tư kinh doanh tại Việt Nam. Nhiều tập đoàn công nghệ uy tín đã có mặt tại Việt Nam và đang hoạt động hiệu quả, thành công. Điển hình trong đó phải kể tới tập đoàn Samsung của Hàn Quốc với tổng vốn đầu tư khoảng 17 tỷ đô la. Thành công của Samsung cho thấy những nỗ lực và quyết tâm của Chính phủ Việt Nam trong cải thiện môi trường kinh doanh tại Việt Nam đã và đang phát huy hiệu quả tích cực, gây dựng được niềm tin với các nhà đầu tư nước ngoài cũng như trong nước. Cùng với nhiều doanh nghiệp lớn về công nghệ thông tin trong nước, các doanh nghiệp có vốn đầu tư nước ngoài đã và đang tiếp tục đóng góp tích cực cho sự phát triển ngành công nghệ thông tin và truyền thông Việt Nam. Và Chính phủ Việt Nam thì mong muốn ngày càng có nhiều hơn nữa các tập đoàn công nghệ, đặc biệt là các doanh nghiệp công nghệ cao 4.0 sẽ tới và đầu tư tại Việt Nam. Thưa quý vị đại biểu và các vị khách quý, hội nghị và triển lãm với chủ đề kết nối số trong cuộc cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0 có nghĩa quan trọng với sự tham gia của đông đảo cộng đồng doanh nghiệp, nhà đầu tư trong và ngoài nước. Việt Nam chúng tôi chân thành mong muốn nhận được từ các bạn những chia sẻ về tầm nhìn, phương hướng phát triển, các đề xuất về cơ chế chính sách và các giải pháp cần thiết để Việt Nam tiếp tục là điểm đến hấp dẫn cho các nhà đầu tư thế hệ mới trong bối cảnh của cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0. Nhân dịp này, tôi cũng xin trân trọng cảm ơn Bộ Truyền thông Ấn Độ, Cơ quan xúc tiến xuất khẩu thiết bị và dịch vụ viễn thông Ấn Độ, TPC, đã đồng hành cùng với chúng tôi để tổ chức triển lãm India ASEAN ICT Expo. Đặc biệt, Bộ Thông tin và Truyền thông Việt Nam cảm ơn và đánh giá cao sự tham gia của gần 40 doanh nghiệp viễn thông Ấn Độ, các tập đoàn đa quốc gia và các doanh nghiệp ICT của Việt Nam đã mang tới triển lãm những sản phẩm, những giải pháp công nghệ mới nhất trong lĩnh vực công nghệ thông tin và truyền thông. Cuối cùng, cho phép tôi được chúc cho hội nghị và triển lãm của chúng ta thành công tốt đẹp. Xin kính chúc các đại biểu và các vị khách quý sức khỏe, hạnh phúc và thành đạt. Xin trân trọng cảm ơn.
Xin trân trọng cảm ơn Thứ trưởng Phan Tâm. Tiếp theo, tôi xin trân trọng kính mời ông Perik Hochberg, Đại sứ đặc mệnh toàn quyền Vương quốc Thụy Điển tại Việt Nam, lên phát biểu về môi trường đầu tư kinh doanh tại Việt Nam, góc nhìn từ một nước châu Âu.
Thank you, Vice Minister Phantom. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Hoderick Hochberg, Ambassador of Sweden to Vietnam, to speak about the business and investment environment in Vietnam with a view from an European country. Please welcome.
Xin chào. Xin chào. Good morning, everyone. What a pleasure to be here. I'm very honored and very glad. Deputy Minister Phantom, nice to be here. Vice Minister Ravikant, nice to be here. Sustainable development is all about digital connectivity. And if you look at ASEAN, I think this is one of the most interesting and growing areas in the world to look at when it comes to Internet of Things and digital connectivity. And India, of course, the biggest democracy on this planet, is always a country to look for inspiration and see where developments are going. In Vietnam, I really like the film we just saw, and I like the comment by the president of the company Ericsson, who said Vietnam is the place to be. And I think it is very, very correct, with the extremely high interconnectivity and the internet connectivity you have. In Sweden, you might wonder, what is Sweden doing here in this scenario with ASEAN, India, and Vietnam? And for me, it's very simple. Sweden is ICT. Sweden is the Internet of Things. And I would like to say a few short comments in the beginning and give some perhaps inspirational thoughts and say a few things about why Swedish and European business is so interested in this part of the world. I will say a few words about the world, a few words about Sweden, a few words about Vietnam, and a few words about the future. Don't worry, it will only take 3 minutes. The world has never been as interconnected as we are today. We have digital societies, and this has really changed the way we collaborate, we produce, we govern, and the way we live. And we have access to global knowledge immediately. When we wake up in the morning, we check our phones, we know what has happened. We almost know what will happen. Sweden has always taken advantage of world knowledge. Why? Well, it's easy. If you look at the map, we are in the very north corner of the world. With 10 million people, we have 0.13% of the world population. We have basically the same amount of people as living in Hanoi, living in my country. Still, we have been able to innovate and to re-innovate, and we are constantly being described as one of the most innovative countries in the world. And why is that? And I think we have some inspiration to give. And the thing is, in our openness and in our transparency and in our curiosity, we have always had to trade. Because we have been in the corner of the world, as I said, and our market was totally depending on growing our economy with the help of others and to adapt to change. Many of the Swedish companies that you might know, not least in the ICT sector, have been around for 100 and 150 years. Do they do the same today as they did 100 years ago? Of course not. They have totally been able to listen to the world, try to see where the trends are going, and try to re-innovate and adapt. And that's why I said openness and transparency, not to look at the map where you're going, but to look at the reality and try to see where are things moving, how do we adjust to that. And in Vietnam, I think one of the most impressive development stories on this planet is Vietnam for the last 30 years after Doi Moi. And we have been here, Sweden has been here, we've been present ever since '69, and we have worked in partnership with our Vietnamese friends because we have seen the potential of the Vietnamese people, of the Vietnamese society to move forward. And I see the importance of 5G, and I see the importance of ICT platforms, and there are so many Swedish and other innovations that are here. Cybersecurity is key. And if you think about cybersecurity, of course, when we go to the Internet of Things, as we have done in my country, where almost everything we do is digital. When it's borrowing books at the library, you get it on your phone, you don't have the book in your hand anymore. When you send money to your friends because you borrowed when you had the Bia Höj, you don't do cash, you swish it. When you buy something, even if it's from a farmer out in the countryside, it's digital. A surgeon who is doing something with my body is doing it digitally connected with other teams, maybe in other countries, water, electricity. Cybersecurity is key here because if the security is threatened, this system could, of course, collapse. We have great companies helping with that. Ericsson is, of course, one of them. We also have the digitally connected utilities, electricity, water, the necessity to be careful with our resources, such as water, one of our key resources. We need to do smart solutions so we don't waste. We have key companies helping with that, not least with ABB. A thing you perhaps did not know. When I read a newspaper that is Swedish, or when I look at the Swedish company's homepage, or maybe an international one, maybe a European or an American one, it's actually engineers sitting here in Hanoi or in Ho Chi Minh City that is creating this platform. They are doing it from there. So I think the investment advice from me, my recommendation for Vietnam, of course, I'm a humble representative of my country. I cannot tell what Vietnam or others what to do, but I think continue to be curious, continue to be open. Think about the education system where we need to have coming engineers and Vietnamese professionals that think outside of the box, that do what we have done. Look at the world, try to adapt to it, be on the forefront, come up with new innovation, because Swedish and European business are already interested to be here. And with a continued network that is being built, a continued Internet of Things environment in Vietnam, they will continue to come. And with your workforce that is so highly tech savvy, as I see, they will be here. So for the future, we don't know what will happen. The only thing we know is that development will continue. And Sweden is willing and able to be here and continue to work closely with Vietnam. It's about digital for good. It's about digital solutions for a good society's development, for a smart city. Smart cities for smart people. One of the things we are very proud to do is an internet forum. Internet is working for young, for old, for men, for women, for companies, for private citizens, for students, for government leaders. Let's use internet more smartly. Let's create smart cities and smart countries for smart people. Good luck with this conference. I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Come on.
Xin cảm ơn Ngài Đại sứ Pererik Hoberg.
Thank you, Ambassador Pererik Hoberg.
Tiếp theo, tôi xin trân trọng kính mời ông Ravi Khan, Thứ trưởng Bộ Truyền thông Ấn Độ, lên phát biểu chào mừng triển lãm India ASEAN ICT Expo.
Next, I would like to invite Mr. Ravi Khan, Vice Minister of Communication of India, to have welcome speech for India ASEAN ICT Expo. Please welcome.
Very good morning to everyone. His Excellency Dr. Phantom, distinguished other excellencies, dignitaries, distinguished guests from Laos and Cambodia, ladies and gentlemen. Excellencies, it is my absolute pleasure to be present here amongst the august gathering. I extend my very warm welcome to all the dignitaries and august gatherings. Also extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries and the delegations from Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, and other ICT fraternity. We are thankful to Ministry of Information and Communication for being hosting this ionic event, that is Indian ASEAN ICT Expo 2018, and co-organizing Vietnam ICT Investment Forum 2018. Excellency and friends, we are here to take forward our bilateral relations and investments, which is very old. I would like to thank all telecom fraternity present here. I thank Telecom Equipment and Service Export Promotion Council with other sponsors, Tejas Network, VNL, Sterlite, BSNL, TCIL, CDOT, ITI, and all in Vietnam, along with excellencies from Cambodia, Laos, PDI, and Myanmar. This second edition of the ASEAN ICT Expo in Hanoi has special significance not only for India and Vietnam, but also for the entire ASEAN countries. The success of the first edition here held last year in Indonesia has given the organizers the confidence to host in Hanoi, Vietnam. I would like to thank excellencies from CLMVs for their determination to work together. India and ASEAN observes 25 years of their dialogue, partnership, 25 years of summit-level interaction, and 5 years of strategic partnership throughout 2017. By understanding a wide range of over 60 commemorative activities both in India and through our missions in ASEAN member states, which culminated in the ASEAN Asia Commemorate Summit on the theme Shared Values, Common Destiny on 25th January 2018 in New Delhi. In an unprecedented gesture, the leaders of ASEAN countries also graced the 69th Republic Day Parade as India's guest of honor. It was a proud moment for India to host the leaders of all 10 ASEAN countries to the summit within a short span of 5 years. India-ASEAN trade and investment relations have been growing steadily, with ASEAN being India's fourth largest trading partner. India's trade with ASEAN stands at US dollars 81.33 billion, which is approximately 10.6% of India's overall trade. India's export to ASEAN stands at 1.28% of our total exports. PM announced a line of credit of US $1 billion to promote projects that support physical and digital connectivity within India and ASEAN, and a project development fund with a corpus of Indian rupees 500 crores to develop manufacturing hubs in CLMV countries at the 30th ASEAN Asia Summit held in Malaysia in November 2015. The Government of India acknowledges your active participation and your collective determination to strengthen our engagement in digital partnership. I am happy to note that ASEAN has adopted Master Plan on Connectivity 2025, which focuses on 5 strategic areas: sustainable infrastructure, digital innovation, seamless logistics, regulatory excellence, and people mobility. As per Digital Innovation Initiative, under this master plan, the digital technologies in ASEAN would potentially be worth of US $625 billion by 2030, which may be derived from increased efficiency, new products and services. Capturing digital innovation requires the establishment of regulatory frameworks for the delivery of new digital services, support for the sharing of best practices on open data, and equipping micro, small, and medium enterprises with the capabilities to access these new technologies. India would like to be partner with ASEAN nations in achieving their visions. As you know, telecommunication services are globally recognized to give the strongest impetus to the economic development of any nation. I would like to share India's experience of growth in ICT sector. To explore synergies on the ground in the ICTs, more than 40 ICT companies from India participating in this ICT Expo, and I can see more than 20 ICT companies from Vietnam as well. This large presence indicates the growing energy between synergy between India and Vietnam. Excellencies and dignitaries, India holds the distinction of being the fastest growing telecom network in this world. Our broadband penetration has increased to more than 460 million. India offers the lowest telephony tariff in the world. Our telecom industry is making this a possibility with products and services that are the best technology, highest quality, and competitive cost. During this event, I have CEO of major vendors Tejas, VNL, BSNL, CDOT, and other government operators to share this experience. And TCIL, the government system integrator, they are sourcing their products from vendors who have showcased in this event. India ranks first when it comes to data consumption, as we have the second largest mobile subscriber base, making us one of the largest market of telecom products and services globally. India is poised for another digital revolution through BharatNet, a program to connect all villages in the country by March 2019. I am happy to share that our government has, as on date, connected around more than 200,000 villages clustered by optical fiber network using indigenous technologies. We recognize our strengths of building a design-led manufacturing ecosystem for IT and telecom products. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, a visionary, has launched lots of new initiatives like National Mission for Financial Inclusion to ensure access to financial services, namely banking and deposit accounts, remittance, credit, insurance, pension in an affordable manner. Digital India to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. Skill India to enable a large number of Indian youth to take up industry-relevant skill training that will help them in securing a better livelihood. And Make in India, an initiative launched by the Government of India to encourage national as well as multinational companies to manufacture their products in India. India's unique digital identity called Aadhaar is being effectively used for empowering the citizens and bringing efficiency in delivering G2C services and other commercial services through innovative community access services centers called Common Service Centers, popularly known as CSCs. We can share our experience to implement similar initiatives in ASEAN countries. The other key initiatives such as Startup India and Stand Up India are making India the home to a large number of startups. They are the incubators of innovative thoughts and solutions. ASEAN countries are keen to make the SMEs as the backbones for their economies. I am sure ASEAN can leverage on these experiences and create similar strengths here. With ICT-enabled services and connectivity, the startups from India and ASEAN can develop the synergy at an accelerated pace. Indian manufacturers have already made significant strides in exports of IT and telecom products to several countries and established that Indian IT and telecom products are of world-class quality and are globally competitive on technology and price. If you are looking for secure ICT products, you should rely on Indian products. Our industry is eager to share know-how and know why. Indian companies have developed their engineering capabilities and experiences with smart innovations. They have the ability to train employees at scale, innovative business models at low cost. This makes them uniquely well-positioned to support the booming ASEAN ICT sector. We have complementary skills and huge markets. We have every capability to develop and build new technology and product to serve our peoples. We believe in development of necessary skill set within our own country so that we are not dependent on that you are not dependent on us for execution of digital projects. India attaches the highest importance to its relation with ASEAN. India is committed to be a partner in the economic and social development of ASEAN. I can assure you that we will do whatever is required to ensure that Indian telecom products and services become your own first choice for your telecom needs. We look forward to becoming your preferred partner as you accelerate your digital connectivity initiatives. We are hosting the second edition of India Mobile Congress IMC 2018 from 25th to 27th October 2018 and in New Delhi. We believe that India Mobile Congress, an initiative of government, will give rise to opportunities for the industry both from within India and abroad to support the ever-growing telecom ecosystem in India. I invite Excellency to attend the IMC 2018. Excellencies and friends, I am optimistic that our respective ICT industries will be in the forefront of facilities and ICT dreams of our citizens. I am sure we will have fruitful business meetings. I wholeheartedly wish the Asia ASEAN ICT Expo 2018 a great success. Thank you very much.
Xin cảm ơn ông Ravikant, Thứ trưởng Bộ Truyền thông Ấn Độ.
Thank you, Mr. Ravikant, Vice Minister of Communication of India.
Sau đây là lễ cắt băng khai mạc triển lãm India ASEAN ICT Expo.
Now I would like to invite the head of delegation participating in the organization of India ASEAN Expo, including Mr. Phan Tâm, Vice Minister of MIC Vietnam, Mr. Ravikant, Deputy Minister of Communication India, Mr. Sop Putivut, Under Secretary of State of the Ministry of Posts and Telematics of Kingdom of Cambodia, Mr. Surya Kambotavong, Director of the Lao People Democratic Republic Promotion Center, Mrs. Win Sao Sui, Councillor, Deputy Chief of Mission, Ambassador of Republic of the Union of Myanmar in Hanoi, please welcome to the stage. The cutting ceremony is now. Please, our distinguished guests to cut the ribbon, please. 1, 2, 3. And now the India and ASEAN Expo is open. Please welcome all our guests and delegation. And now is the VIP tour for all our distinguished guests and sponsor and on the lead of delegation and enterprise.
Sau đây tôi xin trân trọng kính mời quý vị đại biểu cùng toàn thể quý vị khách quý, chúng ta sẽ tham quan triển lãm các sản phẩm, dịch vụ và giải pháp mới nhất của một số doanh nghiệp ICT tiêu biểu. Xin trân trọng kính mời.
Kính thưa các anh chị, thì hôm nay được sự phân công của Cục Viễn thông, thì tôi xin có một bài trình bày liên quan đến cái định hướng triển khai 5G ở Việt Nam. Thì chúng ta nói rất nhiều đến 5G. Thì cái câu chuyện 5G ở Việt Nam thì hoặc câu chuyện 5G thế giới thế nào thì hôm nay tôi cố gắng trình bày vì thời gian nó cũng ít. Có một số cái nội dung chính thôi xin trình bày, và trên cơ sở đấy thì chúng ta cùng chia sẻ với nhau những cái quan điểm để có thể giúp cho Việt Nam triển khai 5G tốt hơn. Nội dung trình bày thì trước hết thì sơ qua chúng ta xem lại là cái hiện trạng băng rộng Việt Nam, những cái định hướng mà các mối quan tâm liên quan đến 5G tại Việt Nam, và cuối cùng thì có cái kết luận. Ở Việt Nam hiện nay ấy thì chúng ta đều nhìn thấy là cái thuê bao băng rộng của chúng ta hiện nay ấy, về số lượng người sử dụng băng rộng ấy, là số thuê bao băng rộng 4G, 3G vân vân là chỉ 64,2 triệu thuê bao. Và trong đó có 4G thì chúng ta triển khai từ năm 2016 mà có hiện nay chúng ta có khoảng 13 triệu thuê bao. Cái tốc độ phát triển về sử dụng 3G, 4G ở Việt Nam thì nó cũng là một trong những cái nước mà có tốc độ phát triển khá là tốt. Tuy nhiên thì tính về cái băng thông quốc tế hoặc là tổng cái dung lượng mà hiện nay ta đang có trong nước quốc tế thì nước ta cũng không phải là nước mà có cái sử dụng cái lượng dữ liệu data trên cái mạng internet là ở mức trung bình. Về cái thị phần băng rộng ở Việt Nam ấy thì hiện nay tập đoàn Viễn thông Viettel thì là chiếm cái tỷ lệ chính, chiếm hơn 50%. Còn lại thì tất cả các cái nhà mạng gồm có đến VNPT, Mobifone, FPT, Telecom và một số các cái doanh nghiệp nhỏ khác. Thì với những cái nội dung mà hiện nay các cái con số mà chúng ta đang được nhìn ở trên màn hình ấy, thì chúng ta thấy là hiện nay cái băng rộng Việt Nam ấy là về vô tuyến băng rộng thì có mạng 3G, mạng 4G và cái phủ sóng trên dân số là 95%. Trên cái cơ sở các cái định hướng các cái nội dung mà thống kê này thì nhìn chung về tổng thể thì ở Việt Nam các cái công nghệ tất cả các công nghệ nào mà nói chung là hiện đang xảy ra trên thế giới thì đều được triển khai ở Việt Nam. Và cái hạ tầng viễn thông băng rộng Việt Nam thì hiện nay tương đối là đáp ứng được cái nhu cầu của xã hội, cung cấp dịch vụ cho người dân. Cho nên nhưng mà dù sao thì cái xu thế phát triển là chúng ta sẽ tiến tới một cái thế hệ mạng mới 5G. Vậy thì 5G ở Việt Nam thì đang nhìn dưới một cái góc cái quan điểm nào? Tôi xin nhé. Thứ nhất thì đầu tiên thì tôi muốn nói qua là thế nào là 5G. Thứ hai là 5G thì khác 3G, 4G, 2G cái gì? Cái nữa là nếu mà cái 5G thì theo đánh giá trên thế giới thì nó ảnh hưởng thế nào đối với cái nền kinh tế? Và cái thực tại hiện nay thì 5G trên thế giới ở đâu? Và nó còn phải có những cái gì cần hoàn thiện không? Và cuối cùng thì cái định hướng mà khi mà xây dựng chính sách để làm ra một cái kế hoạch phát triển 5G ở Việt Nam. Thì 5G là gì? Ở đây thì có rất nhiều các nội dung nhưng mà chủ yếu thì chúng ta hay nhớ vào trong những cái chỉ tiêu cơ bản, tức là đạt tốc độ có thể đến 10 gigabit trên giây hoặc là 20 gigabit trên giây. Downlink cho từng một người có thể là đạt 100 megabit trên giây, và nếu mà các cái độ trễ hàng millisecond. Và tất cả các cái nội dung này thì các cái tiêu chuẩn này đã được ITU thông qua, cái Liên minh Viễn thông Quốc tế thông qua, và trên cơ sở này để cho các cái hiệp hội làm như 3GPP rồi các cái hiệp hội khác thì triển khai các cái công nghệ để đáp ứng cái yêu cầu. Đây là yêu cầu tối thiểu. Cái 5G thì khác gì 2G, 3G và 4G? Thì trên đây thì tôi có một cái thống kê, ví dụ như 2G thì tốc độ mà download speed rất là thấp, 0,1 megabit gì đấy. Mà trên thế giới thì đấy là về công nghệ, nhưng mà về thực tế trên thế giới đo được thì nó chỉ 0,0096 megabit trên giây. Độ trễ được 300 millisecond đến cả 1000 second, vân vân. Thì ở Việt Nam là đã triển khai 2G năm 1993, tức là gần như là cùng một lúc với cả 2G trên thế giới, đầu năm 93 Việt Nam triển khai. Sau đó đến 2,5G thì chúng ta cũng có những cái tốc độ tương ứng 0,4. Và lúc đó xuất hiện một số các dịch vụ mới như voice, SMS, GPRS, rồi có một cái web browsing vân vân. Cái 3G thì năm 2009 Việt Nam chính thức triển khai thì chúng ta tiêu chuẩn thì đấy từ 0,38 đến 21 megabit trên giây, nhưng mà xong độ trễ 100 đến 500 millisecond. Và các cái dịch vụ mới tương ứng trong cái 3G đó là voice, thoại, rồi video, một chút cái mobile data. Thì đến năm 2016 thì ở Việt Nam triển khai cái 4G. Thì với 4G này thì về các cái nội dung doanh nghiệp triển khai ở băng tần 1.800 thì với cái cơ chế là dùng chung với băng các cái dịch vụ trên băng 2G, cho nên là tốc độ có thể đạt từ 50 đến 100 độ khoảng có thể đến 150 megabit trên giây. Rồi độ trễ thì xuống 50 millisecond, và các cái dịch vụ mới như các doanh nghiệp triển khai Voice over LTE, SMS, Video HD, một cái IoT và M2M. Thế còn 5G là gì thì 5G nó rất là khác biệt. Thứ nhất là về tốc độ, các bạn thấy nó là lớn hơn 10 gigabit trên giây. Cái hiện nay trên thế giới đang đo và đo kiểm trên các mạng thử nghiệm thì nó lớn hơn 50 megabit trên giây đối với một người sử dụng. Độ trễ dưới 1 millisecond. Và các cái dịch vụ đây thì nó chia làm 3 cái mảng dịch vụ chính. Thứ nhất là cái dịch vụ băng rộng nâng cao, các cái dịch vụ Massive IoT, dạng kết nối của Machine to Communication. Cái dịch vụ ấy là cái dịch vụ quan trọng mang tính chất yêu cầu cái độ trễ và độ kết nối thì thấp. Thì sau tôi sẽ trình bày thêm. Qua cái này thì ta thấy là 5G hoàn toàn khác các mạng 4G, 3G và 2G, 2,5G chúng ta có. Và cái cấu trúc của cái mạng 5G thì nó không hoàn toàn, vì nó khác như thế cho nên cái năng lực của nó là nó đáp ứng các cái nội dung khác và nhu cầu bình thường. Thì bây giờ cái 5G ở đây nó là một mạng, nhưng mà rất nhiều cái ngành công nghiệp ở trên cái mạng đấy. Có thể là y tế, có thể là giao thông, có thể là vân vân, tất cả mọi thứ. Và trên cái cấu trúc của cái mạng 5G là cái mạng mà nó gọi là cái mạng phân bổ, hoặc cái mạng gọi là slicing network ấy, thì mỗi một cái network mà trong cái tổng thể đấy thì nó phục vụ một cái mục đích khác nhau. Các cái dịch vụ chính của 5G ấy thì nó chia làm 3 mảng, thì cũng là hoàn toàn khác các cái dịch vụ trước. Ví dụ như đối với băng rộng thì tất nhiên là ở băng rộng thì đạt tốc độ rất là cao, có thể đi di chuyển trên 500 cây số một giờ và vẫn đạt tốc độ trên 100 megabit, rồi dừng nếu mà đứng thì có thể đạt tốc độ từ 8 gig, 100 gig trên giây. Và cái hai, nó có một cái mảng thứ hai là kết nối các machine to machine dưới dạng IoT, thì Massive IoT như phục vụ trong các cái ngành công nghiệp 4.0, phục vụ cho các cái giao thông thông minh, phục vụ cho các cái môi trường, phục vụ cho tạo ra những cái smart grid hoặc là smart farming vân vân trong nông nghiệp. Và một cái mảng dịch vụ nữa của 5G ấy, hiện nay là kết nối giữa các cái ô tô để tạo những cái ô tô không người lái, hoặc ô tô kết nối với cả các cái trung tâm khác. Ví dụ như một cái dịch chuyển của ô tô như vậy kết nối với điều hành của bệnh viện, rồi trường học vân vân. Rồi các cái nội dung đến điều khiển trong cái hệ thống điều khiển tự động, trong khai mỏ, trong các nội dung khác và trong các cái lĩnh vực công nghiệp thì được áp dụng rất là nhiều. Vậy là 3 cái mảng dịch vụ này thì chúng ta khi nhìn vào đây chúng ta sẽ thấy là các cái dịch vụ của 5G nó mang tính ứng dụng nhiều hơn, nó không trực tiếp như cái dịch vụ 3G, 2G, 4G mang tính chất là cung cấp trực tiếp người sử dụng điện thoại, nhắn tin vân vân. Thì cái sự khác biệt đấy của 5G. Và với cái sự khác biệt đấy thì 5G nó tác động thế nào đến cái nền kinh tế? Thì theo cái thống kê của HIS năm 2017, đối với tất cả các lĩnh vực về tổng thể thì cái tác động lớn trong cái hệ thống info communication là nhiều nhất 11,5%. Còn tất cả các cái mọi các cái lĩnh vực của ngành công nghiệp thì cái trung bình mà tác động đến ảnh hưởng làm tác động đến làm tạo ra những cái nguồn revenue mới thì rồi trung bình là chiếm nó khoảng đạt ở khoảng 4,6% trong tới mọi lĩnh vực. Và trong tất cả cái này thì 5G nó tác động đến kinh tế thì chúng ta biết là bây giờ chúng nền kinh tế số, thì tức là 5G là một cái có vai trò quan trọng nhất trong cái việc mà xây dựng ra một cái nền kinh tế số ở cái tốc độ gigabit, tạo nó mở rộng ra các cái môi trường môi trường của hoạt động của các cái ngành công nghiệp dựa trên cái hạ tầng mạng băng rộng. Và theo cái đánh giá thì đến năm 2035 thì họ có thể tạo ra một cái giá trị nền kinh tế số lớn hơn là 12.000 tỷ đô. Thế về thực tế thì 5G bây giờ đang ở đâu? Thì trong cái chấm ở đây thì chúng ta đang ở đây. Thì cái 5G đấy thì hiện nay là chúng ta có hai cái tiêu chuẩn hiện nay đang thứ nhất là non-standalone với cả standalone đây. Thì hiện nay tất cả các cái nội dung này thì đang được các nước đang triển khai dưới dạng thử nghiệm và cung cấp các cái số liệu để cho sắp tới ở tại cái hội nghị WRC 19 thì chính thức là thông qua cái tiêu chuẩn 5G, chính thức được thông qua. Và sau đấy thì theo các cái kế hoạch tương ứng như ở Hàn Quốc thì họ sẽ chính thức là triển khai cái mạng thương mại 5G đầu tiên. Và sau đấy thì ở trên các cái và tương ứng theo cái tiêu chuẩn của 3GPP là các release 16 đến 17 cộng evolution vân vân. Thế còn hiện nay ấy, thì ở trên thế giới hiện nay có hơn 18 các cái mạng và hơn 20 các nhà sản xuất các cái thiết bị đã thử triển khai. Có 134 mạng đã thử nghiệm 5G và trên 62 nước trên thế giới. Thì các cái nội dung thử nghiệm hầu như họ thử nghiệm ở cái release 15 và các cái nội dung thử nghiệm chính thì là Massive IoT, Vehicle to X và một số các cái nó gọi là gigabit modem ở sân vận động như kiểu. Và các cái nội dung này thì tôi cũng được tham gia xem và chứng kiến một số các nước thử nghiệm như ở Mỹ thì họ ở Houston thì họ làm cả một khu, tức là có thử nghiệm về ô tô không người lái, có thử nghiệm về các cái dịch chuyển các cái dữ liệu, tăng dữ liệu và thử nghiệm các cái MIMO anten ở cái băng tần unlicensed spectrum theo cái nguyên tắc là LAA với cả LTU. Và ngày hôm nay thì tất cả các nước trên thế giới thì đang để mà cái này thành hiện thực ý, thì đang đợi một cái hội nghị ITUA năm 2019, hội nghị thông tin vô tuyến quốc tế. Thì ở đây nếu mà họ thông qua được cái hội nghị ở năm 2019 thì các cái tiêu chuẩn này chính thức được thông qua và lúc đấy thì các nước thì tập trung vào để triển khai. Và đặc biệt cái mối quan tâm ở đây thì trong thời gian tới này thì ở 2019 ý, là nó có mấy nội dung. Thứ nhất là cái băng tần cấp phép và băng tần không cấp phép. Có một số cái nội dung bây giờ các băng tần dưới 6 GHz và các băng tần trên 6 GHz và các băng tần cao như 28 GHz và 71 GHz vân vân. Thì tất cả đây là ngoài công nghệ ra thì ở tại hội nghị này họ thông qua các băng tần mới cho cái việc phát triển 5G. Thế để làm trên cơ sở tất cả cái thống kê đấy thì Việt Nam thì đánh giá 5G thế nào? Thì Việt Nam xác định là 5G nó là một cái hạ tầng mạng cho tất cả các nền kinh tế chứ không chỉ riêng cho một cái dịch vụ viễn thông đơn thuần. Thứ hai là nếu mà chúng ta định nói về cách mạng công nghiệp 4.0 thì 5G chính là cái yếu tố quan trọng nhất để thực hiện cái việc hội tụ giữa Telecom, giữa ICT và cái việc tự động hóa. Cái đấy rất là quan trọng trong cái ngành công nghiệp 4.0. Thứ hai là nó sẽ mở rộng ra, nó tăng thêm cái khả năng của cái môi trường kinh doanh cũng như môi trường hoạt động của các ngành công nghiệp dựa trên một cái hạ tầng vô tuyến. Và các cái chỉ số mà hiện nay thì Việt Nam cũng quan tâm là đối với những cái ảnh hưởng của 5G này đối với nền kinh tế thì khi mà ta triển khai 5G thì ta phải xác định rõ xem là cái ở Việt Nam thì 5G được ứng dụng ở đâu và 5G triển khai ở đâu đầu tiên. Và cuối cùng thì cái này là cái mà ở Việt Nam cũng rất là quan tâm, đó là chúng ta sẽ mở ra một loạt các ngành công nghiệp mới, ngành công nghiệp thiết bị 5G, tạo ra một loạt những cái sản phẩm mới như thành phố thông minh, đô thị thông minh, một cái ngành công nghiệp thông minh hoặc là y tế thông minh vân vân để phục vụ đời sống. Và cái sơ bộ thì đánh giá sơ bộ qua thì trên cái cơ cấu nền kinh tế Việt Nam năm 2017 thấy Telecom có 7,51% này, 10%, 15,34% là của các cái ngành nông thủy sản này, 33,81% là dịch vụ và 33,34% là các ngành công nghiệp và construction. Thì trên cái cơ sở này thì Việt Nam cũng đánh giá là việc xây dựng các cái nội dung liên quan đến triển khai 5G Việt Nam sẽ phải phụ thuộc vào rất nhiều các cái vai trò của cái doanh nghiệp MNO, các vai trò của doanh nghiệp ICT, và trên cơ sở là thông qua để mà áp dụng được rộng rãi thì Việt Nam cũng đánh giá là các cái cần phải có xây dựng những cái trung tâm R&D, cái test lab cho cái công nghệ 4.0 cho 5G và thực hiện các cái nhiệm vụ mà liên quan đến tức là cái hợp tác quốc tế để triển khai 5G ở Việt Nam. Thì về kế hoạch thì ở đây Việt Nam cũng đánh giá là để mà làm được tất cả mọi thứ thì chúng ta phải xây dựng một cái hệ thống văn bản quy phạm pháp luật tương ứng. Thì chúng ta và trong có những cái lộ trình nhất định. Thì với hiện nay Bộ Thông tin Truyền thông thì cũng đang định hướng doanh nghiệp là trong năm 2019 sẽ nghiên cứu và rất muốn các doanh nghiệp để có đặt những cái vấn đề để triển khai cái 5G thử nghiệm ở Việt Nam, hoặc là xây dựng những cái phòng lab ở Việt Nam liên quan 5G giữa Industry 4.0 và giữa những cái công nghệ như kiểu blockchain để có thể tham gia để có thị trường. Và cuối cùng thì tôi cũng trên cơ sở đấy thì thời gian có hạn thì chúng ta có một số cái kết luận. Thứ nhất là cái kết luận tôi có 2 phần thôi. Thứ nhất là cái cơ hội là gì? 5G sẽ đem cho ta một nền kinh tế mới. Nó sẽ giúp cho cái hiệu quả trong các nền kinh tế của các ngành công nghiệp khác, cả nông thôn rồi đô thị rồi vân vân, thì tốt, nó sẽ đạt hiệu quả hơn và đem lại lợi ích kinh tế. Thứ hai là 5G nó là một cái chìa khóa để chúng ta hoạt động thành công trong công nghiệp 4.0 và nó sẽ là một cái cơ hội để Việt Nam có thể có những cái sản phẩm mới trong nền kinh tế. Nhưng bên cạnh đó thì nó có một loạt các cái thách thức. Cái thách thức thứ nhất là việc tổ chức của các doanh nghiệp để mà có thể quản lý được hàng triệu kết nối và hàng triệu các cái thiết bị. Ngoài ra là chúng ta phải đảm bảo cái an toàn an ninh mạng cho mọi lớp, và các cái ngành công nghiệp thì các cái ngành công nghiệp thì cũng cần phải có một cái chuyển đổi để dựa trên nền kinh tế số, dựa trên cái 5G. Và tất nhiên là cái nguồn tài nguyên thì chúng ta cũng cần phải xem xét rất là kỹ, vì trong này có rất nhiều các hình thức dùng băng tần cấp phép, băng tần không cấp phép và sử dụng chung băng tần vân vân để tăng thêm tính hiệu quả để ứng dụng 5G. Và cuối cùng đối với chính sách thì Việt Nam thì sẽ hứa theo cái chỉ đạo của lãnh đạo Bộ thì Việt Nam sẽ cố gắng là một trong những nước đầu tiên để triển khai 5G trên thế giới. Và để mà làm như thế thì Việt Nam cũng đánh giá là cái việc mà như thế này thì không phải chỉ riêng của Bộ Thông tin Truyền thông, mà là phải tất cả các lĩnh vực ngành nghề cũng phải thay đổi cái cơ chế chính sách làm sao nó phù hợp để phát triển chung trên ứng dụng 5G tốt nhất. Và những cái nội dung liên quan trong thời gian tới thì Bộ sẽ định hướng thêm, phân bổ thêm những cái tài nguyên viễn thông cho 5G và tạo điều kiện cho các doanh nghiệp để thử nghiệm, triển khai, đầu tư trong các việc sản xuất thiết bị cũng như nghiên cứu để sáng tạo và tạo những cơ chế chính sách để cho cái sáng tạo viễn thông trên cái nền 5G nó được phát triển một cách nó hoàn thiện, một cách nhanh chóng để ứng dụng trong đời sống được thuận lợi. Đây tôi xin hết bài trình bày. Xin cảm ơn.
Thank you, Mr. Chandoneng, for your presentation. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Sri Pathak from India. Mr. Sri Pathak has more than 30 years of experience in different disciplines, and now he's the Deputy Director General in Department of Telecom and looking after the work relating to WTO, Economic Cooperation Agreements, Standardization, Promotion of Telecom Exports, and Telecom Center of Excellence. He has additional responsibility as Secretary, TEPC, and also Director of TCOE India. Please welcome Mr. Sri Pathak with the presentation on making India 5G ready.
Namaste from India. A very good morning. And in fact, since I am the Secretary of Export Promotion Council also, so on behalf of Telecom Export Promotion Council, I extend my gratitude to you all and the people of CLMB, special emphasis to Vietnam, and deep purpose for your participation in this event. So I think as far as 5G is concerned, my speaker, he has already covered a lot on technology, vision for Vietnam. And when we just want to discuss, then we will just see that I think that more or less it's the same. We are on the same pace. So I think I will be just covering whatever is extra India is doing. So on this, first, this was the question basically why 5G? And in fact, this is being asked at so many forums, and I think that will be covered in the subsequent presentations also, because 5G means a lot of investment. Why operator will invest, and even what are the various enablement from the government is required. So basically, I will be just covering, one can say, challenges, as well as we have proposed certain actions in a group task force in India. So perhaps they will be more relevant for any developing country. So it just says that India turns to innovations in 5G. 5G we have in fact in India, we are the consuming nation right now. So we have consumed 2G, 3G, 4G. We have not developed any technology. For the first time with this roadmap making India 5G ready, we are taking certain steps for doing innovations from the country. And that's what I think I will be covering in this. So how do we get there? So I think if you want to do anything in 5G, then starting from very early, from standardization and standards in India, we have set up a new organization some 3 years back, Telecom Standard Development Society India, TSDSI. They are member of 3GPP, where wireless part of 5G standard is being discussed, 1M, 2M, and we are working as a government with the ITU, APT, and others forum. Patent, that's, since we in India, right now we don't have much R&D. We had R&D, we don't had R&D, but right now in the 5G, we have already submitted a number of our contributions from India, and more so there has been one ITU, they have accepted it, that is called low mobility large cell requirement. Excellency in this case, basically in place of BTS, typical BTS with the this dia of 1.732 kilometers, it will be covering minimum 6 kilometers. So this is an ideal case for covering our countryside remote part of our this one, that with the help of one BTS, naturally that will be in 700 megahertz. So this has already been accepted at ITU for the world. R&D, that is very much important, but if you don't have the enough IPR, then naturally you will be using technology developed by someone else. Standard is a business. You have to develop your own standards, and that's where I think Vietnam and India both can work together. In fact, in India today, academia is working separately, industry is working separately. So government is bringing them together, so that they work on the 5G together. For that, we have set up 5G test bed with 17 institutions together. We call Indian Institute of Technologies. So there are from Madras, Mumbai, Delhi, Indian Institute of Science, and industry like Tejas and others. They are all working together to develop 5G from India. This I think my previous speaker has covered, so I won't be covering again. This is important, only the last column, that earlier India was not finding any place. We have also set up, we call it 5G India 2020. So there is a high-level forum, and lot of members are present in this gathering. They are part of that 5G high-level forum. So that last, we have also constituted high-level forum for 5G. And government has given the 5 billion in Indian, our currency, for setting up the lab, startups. And there are a number of initiatives we are taking, which I'll be just covering. This is just a summary report because it says making India 5G ready. So this covers the first deployment. So there is more focus on the deployment part of technology. Second will be the building a 5G technology capability, and that's excellency relevant for Vietnam as well as India. because that's the second bullet where there is a maximum value addition occurring at any part of technology. So I think we have to work together, and we have to do not only the first deployment. Deployment is simply you deploy 5G technology for societal benefits, okay. Because 5G, they say that it is necessary for societal transformation. But what as India, as a Vietnam, we are going to do? So that is the building of 5G technical capability. You have to design your own systems, and that's where I think we have a lot of capability. This vision 5G India, that is recommendations to the government, and that has been accepted. So it just says that India must embrace this opportunity by deploying 5G networks early, efficiently and previously, as well as emerge as a significant innovator and technology supplier. So I am giving stress to innovator and technology supplier. This is important, and in that direction, this Department of Telecom, not only Department of Telecommunication, but we have another ministry called Ministry of Electronics and Technology and Department of Science and Technology. And as we know, once we say 5G, it means it has a number of industry verticals, because from smart city to health and agriculture, railway, all will be different verticals. So we all will be working together to make it a reality. For that, we identified, these are the 7 task force spectrum policy, that how India will do. Regulatory policy, what are various challenges? In case, suppose I just make available the spectrum, but if there is no fiberization or there are so many other components required. So what are the various right now obstacle or challenges? So that has been taken care of in the regulatory policy. And education and awareness. So we have to, from the government to even institutions level, we have to go. An application and use case labs, that why any operator will invest in India or in any country. So what are the various use case? Because there should be some revenue model why he should invest in the network. So that's why this application in use case and major trial, I'll be just covering. So development of application layer, that's also opportunity for India as well as Vietnam. Right now, applications are not standardized. In fact, there is no specific forum where you can develop the application layer standard. So I think there is a need to form a new working groups on application layer standard, and since this technology will be just developing, so a lot of work can be done and standardized. Otherwise, it's all proprietary. Participation in international standards, that's separate. This well known. I think this our colleague has already covered. This is important. This is the recommendations given by that task force and mostly accepted by the government. It says 3 tier, this one. First, what is the spectrum available right now, which can be immediately made available through different route, maybe auction route, maybe D-license, license. That's we are not saying. We are saying that these are the various bands available. Certain bands are being discussed in even WRC 19. Certain even may not be there, maybe WRC 23. But we have just recommended that these are the various things. So let there be first available. Another is, then we have identified. Third is, even study is required, because earlier there were no study, maybe coexistence studies, so many interference studies. So now we have started taking action. So I think anyone can know that this sub 4 gigahertz, 405, once we say tier 1, tier 1 means available. So from 3.3 to 3.6, and there are certain frequencies in 600 bands. Then 5.25 gigahertz, once we are saying below 45, it means tier 1 means they are already available. One can auction it or do whatever way it want. And 8.3 gigahertz, tier 2 means study will be required. They have identified it. So same way they have done for backhaul also, 14 gigahertz unlicensed and 10 gigahertz lightly licensed spectrum. But that is their recommendation. Government has to sit together and decide whether there will be license, unlicensed, or what will be the form of. But this is the recommendations of task force. And Wi-Fi also,
I think right now we have just 50 megahertz this D license, and there is thinking that it should be somewhere more than 500. So our first spectrum policy will be announced by 31st December. We have already completed most of the exercise, and I am sure that within 15 days we'll be coming with the clear-cut policy, what will be the spectrum for 5G. This is regulatory policy. Someone says that 250 billion investment. For investment, as I told, that there should be a business case for operator, and that's why there is a task force. And in fact, it is headed by Mr. Rajan Matthew. He is a Digit COI, and he is here, present here itself. So because from operator side, so for the first time, government made the chairs, not from the government, but from industry, because they know the challenges. And now we are taking the various actions to make it a reality for India, from technology as well as deployment. So basically, there are 3 committees. He has recommended that let it be regulatory action network permitting financial relief, that's a separate, smarter infrastructure, cyber security, privacy, net neutrality, human. And I think I just saw that more or less it was same covered here also. And this committee will be coming with the clear-cut regulations by March. So that is important, that there is a clear-cut regulation by March. Education awareness. This is very much important, but right now, as I have been told, that we have been the consumer of technology. So technology developed by someone else, we are just using that, just deploying part. So a lot of awareness will be required from the top to bottom. So we have set up a mechanism that there will be a full-time program coordinator for each activity, such that we take concrete action wherever we are lacking. Application and use case, as I just earlier set up, that education, healthcare, agriculture, and banking, we feel that there may be use case initially. So there will be a separate use case lab set up at different part of the country, along with the concerned ministries like education, then health, so banking, finance will be there. Participation in international standard also, as I told, that even we do develop IPR, but if you don't have a strategy, then we can't do any contribution in 3GPP, because that's a lobby group. Now we are the member. Lot of efforts will be required at the institutions level, as a R&D person, as a government, to influence those global standards. So that's why there is a definite plan that let there be a team of experts on a particular domain and work not just for 1 year, but continuously, so that we have starting out a plan of 10 years. Major trial, that's very challenging also, and it's what we have already taken action. And I just saw that even earlier presentation also, it says that in Vietnam also it's 9-10 it will be. So we have issued the letter to major OEMs, you name, and I think most of them are invited, along with the operators, to do the major trials. And the first live demo will be organizing by most of them during our India Mobile Congress event in 25th to 27th October, in which we invite all of you to attend. And there will be live demos of 5G technology by Ericsson, by Nokia, by Huawei, by Qualcomm, Intel, BSNL, homegrown our own 5G by IIT Hyderabad. So there will be a lot of 5G demo. What is important, and otherwise there has been trials. So trial is not new for any country. What is important, that for the first time India is doing large trials of a technology which is yet to be developed or standard yet to be frozen. And that will be continuous for maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, till there is a commercialization of a particular standard. Because there will be EMBB, that will be the first, MMTC, that can be the second, and UR LLC, that will be the third. So maybe one will come in 19, another may come in 2020, third one 2021. So depending upon the different technology, different standard, use case, that large trial will go on. Government has taken a considered decision to make available requisite spectrum identified spectrum, not through auction route, but in most likely free of cost. So that's the enablement from the government, that government will be providing the spectrum for the trial for a longer period free of cost. To OEMs, operators, we will be bringing startups, we will be bringing local government, and government will be working, in fact, along with the local government. Otherwise, we were just saying that there were earlier trials by operators and OEMs only. So government was missing, startup were missing, local bodies were missing. So this is what Oversight Committee, 5G Program Office, special this, and a number of government departments, they are working together because there will be so many verticals. I think this has already been covered. This is also one significant announcement, that is National Digital Communication Policy, and it has been announced, cleared by the Cabinet yesterday. So my colleague, Mr. Amit Yadav, will be covering because that's his subject. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sri Pathak, for your presentation. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Alex Orange from Qualcomm. Alex Orange is the Director of Government Affairs, Southeast Asia, Taiwan, and Pacific of Qualcomm. Please welcome.
Your Excellency, Dr. Phan Tham, Ambassador, and Your Excellency Ravi Kant, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, it is really my pleasure to be here today to give you an outline of Qualcomm's vision on, essentially on innovation and how innovation fuels growth in GDP and societal improvement. We believe that the basis for this innovation can be achieved by building upon platforms, and in particular, the platform of 5G. In other words, you may consider 5G as the mechanism by which to execute an industrial 4.0 policy and to enable and equip a digital economy. It is the vehicle to effect a digital transformation, a transformation from one kind of economy to a digital economy, and after a few years, we can drop the word digital because it will just become the economy. So 5G is all about innovation. It's the end of a long process. It's a process that started about 40 years ago with analog communications. Analog communications, they were improved to digital communications, and that gave us more security, gave us more features. And then we had the advent of 3G, which really was the advent of data communications. And 10 years after that, 4G, which is really the advent of mobile broadband. So really useful data communications that you could use on the move wherever you are. And in those 40 years, the industry has grown to encapsulate 7.7 billion connections worldwide. So that's a technology, mobile technology, that was introduced to the world 40 years ago and now is ubiquitous, it's prevalent. There has been no other technological platform that has achieved popularity in such a short time. It speaks to the need, or our need, humanity's need to communicate. The next thing that's on the horizon is 5G. Now, we've been noticing that around the world, the appetite for data has been increasing prodigiously. It doesn't really matter what the figure is. We have 30 times up here. Whatever we produce, we can't keep up with the demand for data. So we've looked at a new paradigm to address that. We've figured out that we need a scalable architecture, an architecture that scales in capacity. So if you want to have an 8K video, you can get it, but one that scales in reliability. So if you want to control a drone or an autonomous vehicle, you can do so. And one that scales in terms of coverage and number of connections. So if you want to connect every electricity meter, every water meter, every device, every machine together, you have to scale in another dimension. So without mentioning any figures, that's what 5G is to Qualcomm, a scalable network that fulfills the communication needs of people and machines in the future, and one that is ubiquitous and global and standardized. And by standardizing it, we keep the costs down and we make it available to everyone. So some of the areas that 5G will transform are shown up here. We see more autonomous manufacturing. We see advancing manufacturing, speeding up manufacturing, increasing efficiencies. Increasing efficiencies means increasing productivity. Increasing productivity means GDP gains. GDP gains mean society benefits. The quality of life is improved. And in general, we have a much better time. We see safer, more autonomous transportation. We don't see it immediately, but we see cars and transport transforming. We won't have autonomous vehicles tomorrow, but we already have driver-assisted vehicles today. We see the healthcare industries being improved, such that when you are connected via medical devices, you have access to instant diagnostics, and an early diagnosis is a better diagnosis. We see smart agriculture. We see improvements in understanding what's happening to crops because we can monitor them using drones autonomously. We can improve the equipment that is used to harvest the crops, fertilize the crops, you name it. Better tending of crops, and that includes vegetables or textile crops like cotton, but also aquaculture. Means higher yields mean more productivity, better efficiency, and you see the picture. We'll also see improvements in safety and security, energy and utilities, smart cities and infrastructure, which is very important to Vietnam at the moment. And we will also see digitized logistics, which will connect everything together, from your smart agriculture to your autonomous manufacturing, to your smart cities. And it's all driven by innovation. And innovation is essentially ideas. It's the commercialization of ideas. It's taking an idea, pulling it into reality, putting it out there in the world, and being able to generate a return so that you can take that revenue return and reinvest it and create more innovation. It's very important because the way you commercialize innovation is by protecting the intellectual property, protecting the idea, and the way you protect that is through a strong intellectual property right regime. So studies show that countries with strong IPR regimes, they enjoy 9 to 10 times more investment than countries that don't have strong IPR regimes. Countries with firm IPR policies produce 50% more innovative output. And companies, so coming down to the private sector level, with advanced IP systems are 40% more likely to invest in R&D. So if 5G is the platform for innovation, if Vietnam wants to innovate on top of that platform, then a strong IPR regime, which includes enforcement and patent policy and patent enforcement, is really a must. So I stand up here and I feel like I'm lecturing, but I'm lecturing from a perspective of working for a company, Qualcomm, who has based its success on ideas and research and development and the commercialization. We spend a lot of money, a lot of our revenue on R&D. It's $54 billion to date on R&D. We generate those ideas, those inventions, and then we share them. We share them with other companies so they may invent on top of those. And that empowers not only us, but it empowers an entire ecosystem from Qualcomm down the value chain, eventually to the consumer. And the revenue flows back from the consumer, back up the value chain to Qualcomm, and we reinvest it. And we've been doing this for 30 years. It's a great model for innovation, and it's based on fundamental research. And I guess a couple of examples of how it's happened are, we've seen analog communications go to digital communications. We've seen desktop computing go to mobile computing. And the next thing we're going to see is a movement towards the Internet of Things. But I just want to go on to a brief aside and say we share our technologies through two mechanisms. One via licensing the technology, and the other by building our technologies into chipsets. No matter if you have your own chipset or a Qualcomm chipset, in order to have a level playing field, you still need a technology license. So I mentioned analog to digital, desktop to smartphones, and now the Internet of Things. So the last 30 years have all been about connecting people with phones. The next 30 years are about connecting industries and things and changing the way that economies interact. And to do so, we're going to build upon 5G, and 5G is here. 5G has already been fully standardized in the third generation partnership project, 3GPP. We are now in the phase where commercial networks are about to be deployed. The first commercial networks will be deployed before the end of 2019. The first 5G devices will be on sale before the end of will be on sale in 2019. And then we will see more and more commercial services being launched. Fundamental to all radio services is the need to regulate and provide access to suitable radio spectrum. A radio doesn't work without radio spectrum, and that's just one of those results of the laws of physics. But in order to deliver 5G services that are scalable in all directions, we need to have access to different types of spectrum. We need access to licensed spectrum to provide quality of service, shared spectrum to make sure that we can have enough capacity, and unlicensed spectrum to really ensure that 5G delivers a great consumer experience. We need spectrum in high bands, above 24 gigahertz. The spectrum we call millimeter wave. And that's to provide the huge capacities required to send large amounts of data, say video backwards and forwards. We need spectrum in the mid-range from 1 to 6 gigahertz. And that's to ensure enough capacity, but also to ensure ultra-reliable, low-latency communications that are required for mission-critical services. And we need low bands, below 1 gigahertz, to ensure the 5G network is prevalent and ubiquitous everywhere. The millimeter wave is required for capacity. It's required for those really high bandwidth applications. And we've been working on this for some time. It's not like this has just arrived. It's part of Qualcomm's, if you like, DNA to work on hard engineering projects. In the beginning, in 1989, people said that CDMA would not be a technology that worked. We proved them wrong. In 2017, they said millimeter wave cannot be delivered in a handset form factor. We've already proven them wrong on that too. But 5G relies on 4G. So all the work that Vietnam has done to deliver 4G, that is good, because that's the basis for delivering 5G. In the beginning, 5G will not be everywhere. You will, at times, walk out of 5G coverage or drive out of 5G coverage, and then you'll have to fall back to your 4G networks. And so that's why Qualcomm is also developing technologies under 4G or LTE to make sure that that consumer experience is as seamless as possible. We've already commercialized the form factor. So a 5G handset will look a bit like this. And that reference design is out there, and we expect handsets in 2019 to be delivered to the shelves. We've also been working with our operator partners, in particular Ericsson, to make sure that the phones work with the networks, that there is interoperability, that we can switch from one spectrum band, low band, mid band, high band, make sure that all the functionality works. So again, Qualcomm is not working alone, it's working in an ecosystem of partners. And what can we deliver? Well, in the last 18 months, we've been able to take the capability of our modems from 1.2 gigabits per second up to 4.5 gigabits per second. And you think, what is that? That's one DVD in a matter of seconds to your personal device. Imagine what you can do with that. Again, we're working with handset vendors, all the major handset vendors. Some of them are here in Vietnam to have those devices delivered in 2019. So just to start summing up, we've built prototype systems. We've helped standardize the technology. We've done interoperability, and we've built modems and reference designs to bring 5G to the world built upon LTE. There's a lot of things that 5G will deliver. I'm being asked to move on, so I'll just skip that slide. and that slide, and come to what we're doing here in Vietnam. We are working with VNPT, with BKAV, with Viettel, with FPT, and a number of others to bring mobile technology, mobile broadband, and IoT, and the supply chain associated with that to Vietnam. So Vietnamese companies are already innovating on our technologies. So I cannot stress how important innovation and IPR is to Vietnam and delivering Industry 4.0. We're preparing Vietnam for 5G. That's what I'm doing here right now. We are ensuring that we're involved in smart cities, smart farming, and other smart initiatives in Vietnam, so that not only at the technology and innovation parts of the value chain, we're also facilitating the delivery of services. And with that, I'd like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, dignitaries, luminaries of telecommunication, ladies and gentlemen, friends. Xin chào, and between Xin chào and Gamun Ba, my presentation flows. Well, before I begin my presentation, let me tell you that I knew Vietnam as a power in the textile front. I happened to visit United States of America, and in one of the stores, I was looking for the shirt. The best shirt was made in Vietnam. But today, after seeing the presentation and the video, it really impresses me and all of us here that Vietnam has covered 95% through 4G LTE and almost like 100% through fiber. But back in India, we can also take pride on one parameter, at least, where we can say that we lead in the world. And that's data consumption per day. After the disruptive telecommunication market, especially after the entry of a network installed by the 19th richest person of the world, which is called Jio, the data consumption in India is highest, crossing China and United States of America. And it is basically driven by the digital media consumption on mobile services, the mobile apps on which Indian population is hooked into, the customers are spending their time on mobile entertainment, and the data consumption through smartphones, etc., etc. And this story is going to continue up to 2022, and India is likely to remain the largest data consumer in the world, especially driven by smartphones, the applications, the M2M connections, and the video consumption. As you can see, that largest online video users are back in India. Coming to the Digital Broadband Mission 2022, we have recently formulated NDCP policy, National Digital and Communication Policy 2018, and my previous speaker has spoken on that. My successor will also speak on that. So I'll only cover and tell you that in this policy, the focus is on the growth of telecommunication across length and breadth of the country, whether it is a rural area or a city area or industry or school or colleges. And we always wonder, I think my predecessor has focused on various G's that we are passing through, and sometimes I wonder, and I'm sure that all of you also wonder whether it is about G's always or it is about GBs. I believe the G's has got no value, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, unless it delivers GBs to the consumers. And this is what this policy aims to do. And as I have mentioned that after the introduction of a disruptive marketing strategy by one of the Indian telecommunication giant, India is ready to embark on 4G roadmap. Like Vietnam, maybe. We have initiated 3G 5 to 7 years after the world. We have initiated 4G 4 years after the world. But this is our endeavor, and all the telecommunication industry and the government and the policymaker and the communication minister and the Prime Minister of India to ensure that when it comes to 5G, India and together with all of us should not lag behind, and we should launch 5G along with the world. And with due regards to my friends in US and Europe, let me tell you that 5G is going to be driven this time by the Asian country, starting from Japan, China, Korea, and India, and today I'm 100% sure Vietnam as well. The policy 5G initiative India has got 4 pillars. First, constitution of high-level forum for 4G India 2022. Second, the financial grant setup of 5G testbed by the premium technical institutions in India, Indian Institute of Technology and Indian Institute of Science. And the regulation part of it and their recommendation for 5G spectrum auction. Besides, MOUs with 3 UK universities to jointly explore the potential use cases for 5G. Now, as my predecessor, earlier presenter, has also mentioned about various aspects of 5G. And here is the change. We always think that Gs are eventually about GBs, but not anymore. 5G is not alone about GBs. It's also about various other things, and as very nicely covered by the previous presenter, it has got 3 pillars. One talks about the enhanced mobile broadband, which is basically like GBs, and we are looking at the speed of more than 10 Gbps peak data rate, 100 Mbps whenever it is needed, maybe even in the lift if you are traveling. 5G envisages that at least 100 Mbps should be there, and there is going to be increase in traffic to as much as 10,000 times. It also talks about the latency part. We all know that the network has to be ultra reliable, and it has to have a very, very low latency for various developments or various initiatives that are going to be there in 5G. So ultra low latency and ultra reliability is one of the pillars for 5G. And apart from that, it not only aims to connect the human, but also aims to connect the machines, and machines for everything. Machines which are having very good battery life and which can provide the massive machine-type communication. So these are the 3 pillars of 5G which we are going to focus on. And as you can see through this depiction that the speed is always going up. Now the world is already moving. We have thought that many of the telecommunication professionals, I'm sure, you visit the Mecca of GSM in Barcelona every year. And we are given to understand that 5G is going to come by 2020. But here, to my surprise, various companies have already started their work on 5G. As you can see that Verizon is set to launch 5G residential broadband services this year itself. The AT&T aims to launch 5G services in 12 US market by late 2018. They are going to be far in between, small in patches, but the world has already begun. So as I had mentioned that 5G is going to be driven by Asia, we have to really move fast and we have to move together. BSNL, which is my organization, the government organization, has tied up with Nokia, Corient, ZTE, NTT, SoftBank, Samsung, various companies to go forward on 5G. KT, our neighbor, Korean Telecom Corp, has thinking to launch trial 5G network by 2018 Olympic Games in February 2018. The commercial launch is slated to be by 2019. China Mobile has its plan to develop end-to-end commercial products and pre-commercial 5G network by 2018, deploy 10,000 5G base stations for commercial launch of 5G services by 2020. Telenor and Tele2 are also the companies which are already going, and my friend from Sweden will probably confirm that they are jointly working out 5G network in Sweden with full commercial launch expected by 2020. Now, as I said that 5G is not about GBs alone. It is not about connecting people. It is not about only data. It is about various other services which are aimed to transform the life of 1.3 billion people back in my country, and similarly, lives of about 6.5 billion people in this world. And there are various areas where 5G is going to make impact. You all know that healthcare, through remote monitoring, telemedicine, remote surgery is possible, and for that only ultra-low latency is required and ultra-reliability is required. In education, as you can see that the colleges, etc., don't have to be a brick and mortar model alone. They can be done through distant. Agriculture is going to be the main beneficiary of 5G initiative, and monitoring the crop, yield, rainfall, pesticides, soil, etc. is going to be governed by 5G. Environment control is also going to be governed by 5G. Safety, which is of prime most importance to all of us, especially women and child. The 5G is going to have the systems which is going to provide the security for that group of people. Logistics, financial services, power and utilities, automotive cars, etc. For everything, 5G is going to play an important role. And we telcos worldwide are thinking about the use cases in 5G. And probably you can go through this slide that we are already working on connected vehicles, self-driving car, remote driving, virtual reality application, augmented reality glasses, robotics. And as the time is up, I would like to conclude my presentation with three major important things which is required for implementation of 5G worldwide.
Mr. P. Harish, Ambassador of India at Vietnam, to give an overview about India-ASEAN digital connectivity. Mr. Harish, Ambassador.
Thank you, Moderator, for your introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here and to be part of this discussion. We are at a moment when we have just celebrated last year the 25th anniversary of the India-ASEAN Dialogue Partnership. So last year we have held a number of events to mark the 25th anniversary of the India-ASEAN Dialogue Partnership, including the first session of the India-ASEAN ICT Expo, which was held in Jakarta. Earlier this year, in January, we had held the ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit in Delhi, where all leaders, heads of state and government from ASEAN member nations were there as guests for the Republic Day parade in India. The ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit produced a Delhi Declaration. Connectivity has been recognized as a key element in the ASEAN-India partnership, both physical connectivity and digital connectivity. It was, as part of the Delhi Declaration, where our Prime Minister said that connectivity is vital, not only for bringing our people and for bringing our business and industry together, but also to build capacity, to build infrastructure, to develop the services, and to develop the human resources required for ICT-related connectivity. We had also agreed that Indian institutions will help in the establishment of centers of excellence in software development and training in ASEAN member states, encourage ICT startups, and explore emerging technologies for adoption in synergy with a master plan on ASEAN Connectivity 2025 and ASEAN ICT Master Plan 2020. Friends, broadly speaking, connectivity must not only build infrastructure, as our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, said. It should also build bridges of trust. Now, in physical connectivity projects, there have been a number of issues that have emerged, not only in this region, but all over the world. There have been issues of lack of respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. There have been issues of lack of consultation or good governance practices. There have been issues of lack of transparency or viability and sustainability. I think there have also been a number of instances when physical connectivity projects have also imposed unbearable debt burden on the beneficiary countries. Now, it's a matter of some satisfaction to us that digital connectivity projects avoid some of these pitfalls of the physical connectivity projects. Digital connectivity projects enable, through creation of appropriate infrastructure, sharing of expertise that has a direct bearing on socio-economic elements that are vital to a nation. Issues like health, issues like education, human resource development. It is with this in mind that when India extends a hand in development partnership with our friends and partners in the region and around the world, digital connectivity projects have taken a great importance. For example, in our relations with the African continent, a number of digital connectivity projects have taken prime stage, including on health and education. We have some of our exhibitors who have come up and have displayed some of these projects. Likewise in ASEAN, digital connectivity projects are of vital importance. During the Delhi Declaration, our Prime Minister announced a project for smart village demonstration in each of the CLMV countries, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. And we are in the stage where one of our organizations is conducting the feasibility study for the smart village digital connectivity project. This would enable a demonstration as a pilot project of the kind of technologies that can really empower our citizens in the villages. A number of our companies also have products and processes which are focused on linking the most remote corners in any nation. Some of these are fueled by renewable sources of energy in areas where you do not have grid connectivity. And these have been critical in reaching out and taking digital connectivity to those in the remotest corners of the country. As far as ASEAN is concerned, in addition to the Prime Minister's announcement, we have also undertaken a number of other projects focused on capacity building, focused on smart computing and supercomputing, focused on vocational and technical training. A number of these projects are here in Vietnam, for example. There has been a supercomputer project. There has been a project for vocational training in ICT-related courses in Hanoi, and we are now in the process of taking it to its second phase by upgrading the course content and beginning a new training of trainers program. In each one of these, when we interact and find out and get the feedback from our partners is that digital connectivity projects are ideally suitable in the ASEAN region for the precise reason that most of the citizens in ASEAN are already on the net. If we take, for example, Vietnam, the average smartphone ownership is over 1. And almost 55 to 58 million of the 93 million population are on social media. So any kind of a digital connectivity initiative with India has a huge impact. India, for example, as part of the IBSA grouping, the India, Brazil, South Africa Forum, has started an e-health project in the Haiphong Medical University in Vietnam. It is nearing completion, hopefully in the next 2 months. Here lies, for example, a unique project where we have been able to enable a medical university to create a platform, a digital platform, to reach out to healthcare professionals in the remote corners of Vietnam, to integrate their e-library facilities in the various medical colleges and universities in the country, and have this available to healthcare professionals through a mobile app. Eventually, it would certainly benefit if these healthcare professionals can also interact with healthcare professionals in India, for example, and take the benefit of their experience on various professional issues. Likewise, in the field of tele-education, there is immense potential of linking up and creating such digital platforms which bring together our academia and universities and educational institutions on both sides. I think we will see more numbers of these initiatives in the years ahead. It also calls for an active interaction and participation of the business and industry on both sides. So the kind of seminars and the kind of exhibitions that we have today are a perfect forum to bring together the industry on both sides to explore further on how to bring together the end users who can take benefit from such digital connectivity initiatives. Our Prime Minister announced $1 billion of line of credit for physical and digital connectivity projects between India and ASEAN. I think this line of credit provides an immense opportunity for governments in ASEAN who could, in coordination with their business and industry, explore what projects could benefit from this line of credit, not only for physical connectivity, but for digital connectivity projects. I think, I hope this discussion today will enable a more robust exchange of views on how best and what kind of digital connectivity projects we can take ahead. Even in the realm of business and industry, I think we need greater digital connectivity. between our chambers of commerce, between our industry bodies and associations, between public procurement portals and various other mechanisms which can enable our people to avail of the opportunities for growth and prosperity amongst our nations in ASEAN and in India. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. I think so you've set the tone for this panel, and rightly you pointed out the need, the requirement, and what India has done over the years in the ICT sector in the ASEAN nations, and particularly also in Vietnam. May I now invite the next participant, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Bhatnagar, who is the Director General, TEPC, the Telecom Export Promotion Council of India, to speak on project concepts in digital connectivity in ASEAN. Thank you. And we will request all the participants, as I said earlier, to keep it within 6 to 8 minutes.
August 1992 to October 1992, I was working with the Ministry of Communication to provide the master plan formulation for Vietnam. Starting from the rural network, connecting the 50 rural network to connecting to the 50 provinces of Vietnam, and then finally connecting all those to the 3 international gateways of Vietnam. So the formulation was done, and the first set of the 3 gateways at Hanoi, Saigon, and Da Nang also were finalized. And even today also, as the international gateways are concerned, you still have the 3 gateways. And the connectivity, fiber connectivity was also planned at that time. And some of the equipments for the connecting the rural exchanges to in the various provinces. So that was also had taken place way back in 1994, 93, 94. So here you are having the C-Dot also as one of the exhibitors whose switches were deployed in the network. So now after 26 years, another opportunity comes wherein, as far as the digital connectivity is concerned, so we can be having another set of the projects being done by the Indian industry for not only Vietnam, but other countries in this region as well. So when our Indian Prime Minister had announced, in fact, it was on 8 September 2016, where he had mentioned about the digital connectivity provision for the ASEAN countries, and for which a line of credit of $1 billion was announced. So our Prime Minister had indicated that seamless digital connectivity between India and Southeast Asia is a shared objective, and India is committed to the master plans on Asian connectivity. So at that stage, we had prepared some draft proposals were prepared by us for all the 10 ASEAN countries, and they were shared with the various, through our ambassadors, they were shared with the respective governments in all these countries. As far as India is concerned, the projects which can be taken up, they could have been in rule, because the projects will be based on your requirements. Because you are the best judge what you need in Vietnam, what you need in Cambodia, what you need in Laos, or what you need in Myanmar. So as far as the projects were concerned, they were classified into rural broadband and smart city projects, knowledge networks, modernization of defense and utility networks, then government to government and government to consumer services, including financial inclusion. So all those activities were also planned as far as the projects were concerned. We had a number of projects, I'm coming to that also, which we had proposed. You see, India is a developing country, and we know that we have limited financial resources available with us. So we try to do innovative and technologically leading solutions which are affordable also at the same time. So we try to meet the requirements of India, and similar type of solutions we have tried to propose for the other developing countries from the ASEAN region. And what is more important is, when we provide a solution, the solution is available for meeting the requirements of coming many, many years. For example, right at the beginning, I mentioned about C-dot technology. In India, also in the rural networks, we are having the C-dot technology. The switches are deployed in the middle of 90s, continue to be deployed after year 2000 also. But subsequently, the requirement came that we need to have next generation networks. Because the design was Indian, IPR was with India, and R&D was done by C-dot, so it was possible for C-dot, with add-on hardware and add-on software, it was possible to convert these switches into the next generation networks. So right now, this is as for the BSNL network is concerned, so many of the old switches of the technology 10 years back or 20 years back, they are being converted to the next generation environment also in the BSNL's network. So the point is, whatever solution which comes from India, it will be taking care for the requirements for coming years, because IPR will be with us and will provide adequate training to the officials from the developing countries in this region, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, and other ASEAN countries. So they can take full advantage. They get trained, and on their own they can manage subsequent maintenance efforts also. So some of the projects which we had listed, they were projects on e-health and e-education, secured platforms for government communication, covering voice, video, and data services, establishment of internet exchanges, provision of 4G, LTE system, and broadband internet services in areas where you don't have, even the electricity is not available. So solar-powered solutions meeting the requirement of those locations. And what is more important is these solutions can be provided at a cost almost 30 to 40% lower as compared to the conventional solutions. You may ask how it can happen. You see, what is being done is optimization of the power requirements is being done in the solutions. Because when you have a solution applicable for an urban network, so you are having very densely populated areas are there. But when you are going to remote areas, population density is very less and less number of people are there. So the solution implementation is possible with a lesser power. And since you are going in for solar solution, so you design the solar backup only to the actual requirement in the rural area. Because if you know that in a rural area you are going to serve only 200 families, though your system could have supported in urban area almost say based on traffic constraints, say 1,000 families, you will design, because the population migration is taking place from rural areas to urban areas, not the reverse way. So if today you are having 200 families and you can design say for 300 families, so the system will be adequate for some years to come. There should not be any difficulty. So your power requirement can be there for just 300 families, and then you optimize based on your power requirement and you reduce your cost, and the solar solution also is very compact. Then there can be solutions, satellite-based connectivity to inaccessible areas. That again is another option. Some countries like Philippines, Indonesia, they are having lot of islands are there inaccessible. Various e-governance projects, electronic voting management system, defense and police communication network systems, smart city implementations, and projects with IoT and M2M. So these are some of the projects which possibly can be done making use of the line of credit. In fact, we had started the interaction with the various countries through meetings. So this is a meeting which was held in Delhi. So Ministry of External Affairs and all the ambassadors of all the 10 ASEAN countries, they were present in the meeting. So there we had introduced what sort of projects are there. So we have taken note of the suggestions coming in from the various countries. We don't have the official delegation from this afternoon from Myanmar, though in the morning there was a representation from Myanmar. So we have, as an official delegation, we had gone to Myanmar in December 2016, and we had discussed like the event which is taking place in Hanoi today. Similar type of event was taking place in Myanmar in December 2016. So the inauguration being done by the Director General over there. So there also Indian companies, they had exhibited. So then we had a meeting at Naypyidaw with the officials from the Ministry of Myanmar. We had organized in support of the digital connectivity on the 25th anniversary of ASEAN-India dialogue, which our Honorable Ambassador mentioned. So we had so therein we had the delegates coming in from, you can see the minister from Cambodia, the minister from Cambodia, you can see over there, minister from Bangladesh, Bhutan, they were also there. So then on 27th March 2017, again we had an interaction with the officials coming in from the Vietnam government. The honorable minister from Vietnam, he was leading the Indian delegation, Vietnam delegation, and there were almost 27 members were there in that delegation. Then again we had an interaction with the government of Laos also. So where we had gone, we had taken participation in the in a meeting in Laos last year, and then we had a meeting with the honorable minister and the senior officials in the government of Laos, and after that we had received 4 projects were received by us also for availing the line of credit also. But follow-up part on that could not take place, because the projects needed details. What sort of details are there? Because if you just give a name of the project in a single line, that does not work. So somehow there was some communication gap was there, so details could not be worked. But now I'm told that the government of Laos has gone in for more details. In fact, on my computer, I'm having the outline of a project which can provide connectivity to almost 1,000 remote locations in Laos, where at present they are not having 4G systems, they are just having GSM systems are there. So we'll try to finalize those projects, because the optical fiber connectivity is also not there for many of these locations. Similarly, in Cambodia also, similar type of situation is there. So as far as Vietnam is concerned, optical fiber and optical fiber connectivity is much, much better. But as far as the Cambodia, Myanmar and Laos are concerned, so there's a big scope for providing connectivity in remote and difficult areas. In fact, this was a set of the requests also which are coming in. Another set of the project, this was coming in from Vietnam. So what sort of a request can be there? So when we had a similar type of event taking place in Jakarta, December last year, so these are some of the requests came, but of course they were not converted into the formal official request subsequently. Maybe this time, as we hold the government-to-government talks, maybe we can get some finalization on some of these projects. As far as the government of India is concerned, for line of credit, some activities are concerned. We have got some inputs coming in from some of the governments, because they are exhausted their sovereign guarantee limits. So they are thinking of whether it is possible for government of India to look into some other new alternative options. We had discussions on this issue also with the ministries. So the ministries said that let the request come from the respective governments. If they are having difficulties in sovereign guarantee and if they are suggesting some alternate options, let those options can be sent across officially. We'll try to take a call on that and how best we can make use of the line of credit projects. As for the line of credit project cycle is concerned, it is the detailed procedure is there, in which a number of activities are there. But the first element in this case is the identification of the project and preparation. So as far as we are concerned, once you have finalized what exactly is going to be the project, from India, along with the industry, will ensure that your projects get scaled up, wherever field trials are required or any other further activities are required, we can provide from India, the support can be available to the respective ASEAN countries who are requesting for the project. I think at this stage, I will conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatnagar. Thanks for working very hard, developing for individual ASEAN countries various proposals, various suggestions of what can be the projects which can be of use to them, and taking the initiative forward. In this regard, now I come to the next speaker in the panel, Mr. Nguyen Huy Zong, who's the Deputy Director General, Information Security Authority, and his presentation on cybersecurity for digital ASEAN connectivity, a very important issue which was raised during the earlier session this morning also. Mr. Nguyen.
His Excellency Dr. Phan Tam, Vice Minister, Ministry of Information and Communication, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dũng. I'm from the Authority of Information Security, an organization under Ministry of Information and Communication. We are in charge of cybersecurity in Vietnam. As my colleague has already mentioned, today the digitalization process and cybersecurity are unseparated part of a very, they need to go together. And you may ask why is it? So to begin with, let's say I would like to briefly introduce the global landscape for cybersecurity in 2018. As you have already seen on the slide, on average, every day we receive around 4,000 cyber attacks toward our system, our information system, and our critical assets, among which the two most hot topics into 2018 is the data breach in terms of medical and personal records and financial related data. And Asia Pacific, together with the North America, is now among two hottest regions in the world in terms of cyber attack. As we record, most of cyber attack all over the world, we fall into the system, the information system under ASEAN Pacific country or North America. And therefore, we are spending more and more money to protect our system. However, there are still trillion US dollar lost in terms of cyber incident or in terms of data breach. Regarding the threat actor, if in the past, the threat actor is the so-called the newbie or the script kiddie, they do the hacking for fun only. But nowadays, the threat actor will ranging from the professional organization to some national, the state-sponsored attacker. For instance, if the criminal, the cyber criminal, their motivation is to gain the financial profit, they attack, they stole our credit card, personal information for profit. However, for the cyber terrorists or the hacktivists, they do the hacking because of the political trend and political ideology. And the most dangerous and professional attacker come from the nation, the group that is sponsored by a nation. They would like to focus on critical infrastructure of other nations to steal the state secret or to destroy the critical information infrastructure. That's why the threat now is emerging from the very. They go to the very professional service. They can rent a service to launch an attack. You may know that the attack as a service trend. If in 2007, the security threat focused on some traditional kind like phishing, online phishing, or hacking, denial of service, or launch the malware or botnet. However, in 2018, the cyber threat fall into two major categories. The first one is the so-called data breach to store the sensitive data of individual and organization. And the second one is the ransomware. You may have been already aware. And now we see the trend of the ransomware in the cloud. They encrypt all the data that we store in the cloud. And also, together with the Industrial 4.0 revolution, the emerging threat is now come from the so-called artificial intelligence. If in the past, the attacker and the defense are all human beings, but now they can create the AI, the attack bot, they can automatically launch an attack to the system. It's the major trend now in 2018. And how we react to so threat landscape and how we protect our information system as well as the digital infrastructure of a nation. We in ASEAN country follow the 5-pillar approach according to ITU Global Cybersecurity Agenda. The first one is to build and to formulate the legal environment. As you may have already been aware, Vietnam has a cybersecurity law in 2015, and another ASEAN country member state like Singapore, for instance, or Malaysia also have their new cybersecurity law. The second one is we formulate and we build the national technical infrastructure to protect our digital access, to protect our critical information system. And the third one is to the organizational structure. More and more countries now are formulating the national agency in charge of cybersecurity. For instance, for Vietnam, we have the Authority of Information Security. For Singapore, they also have the so-called Cyber Security Agency of Singapore. And I know that Malaysia, Myanmar, Indonesia is also moving into that direction to form a national agency in charge of cybersecurity. The fourth one is maybe perhaps the most important one is capacity building. In Vietnam, we are now begin to provide long-term training for university students. Besides information technology, we now have a special field for engineer in cybersecurity. And in cybersecurity, besides long-term training, the short-term training course, I mean that a 5-day course to update the skill and knowledge regarding the cybersecurity is very important, and we are doing it every year. And the last but not least is to enhance the cooperation, both domestic cooperation and international cooperation between the states, because we are now living in a connected world and no one is safe alone in the cyberspace. The cyberspace is a truly global issue that needs the cooperation between states to tackle with. We aim at building a cyber resilience capabilities. We aim at building the so-called cyber resilience for the cyberspace, the common cyberspace. And we would like to introduce one new initiative that launched in June this year. Is so-called the Vietnam Cybersecurity Center. The Vietnam Cybersecurity Center is under the Authority of Information Security of MIC. We aim at building an information sharing network platform, not only for Vietnam, but for international cooperation as well. For instance, if we see any infection, any malware signature that attack some organization in Vietnam, for instance, a bank in Vietnam, we can put the signature of the malware through across our information sharing network so that our colleagues from other countries and other national authority of cybersecurity can aware and can update with the latest process, because I think that the information sharing is now playing a very crucial part in terms of cybersecurity. Here is some overview of our center, and we now operating a so-called cybersecurity intelligence platform to provide the core function of the information sharing network, and we welcome any participation from ASEAN country member state as well as our partner from India, because the information cannot be pushed from one side alone. If together we add the information, share about the risks, share about the emerging threats, so it's very good for everyone to deal with the sophisticated attack from the cyber world. And last but not least, I would like to emphasize one phrase here. We believe that the cybersecurity is like a car brake. what is the function of the car brake? The car brake is not to stop the car, but allow the car to go faster. We believe that cybersecurity is very similar to car brake. It's not to stop the digitalization process. It is the mechanism so that we can push the digitalization process and IT adoption faster for sustainable development. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. And I think so you've also in the presentation given a way forward of collaboration and information sharing and the need in the cyber security arena. And that's, I think so that's the way forward as we move in this globally digitized world. There are various ways in which it can be addressed, but this is one very important, especially in the ASEAN region. Now I come to the presentation from Cambodia, the vision of digital connectivity of Cambodia by His Excellency Sok Putthe Ya, Under-Secretary of State and Chairman of Telecom, Cambodia.
His Excellency Dr. Van Tham, Deputy Minister of Ministry of Information and Communications, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm honored to be here today, to be part of India ASEAN ICT Expo, and to have a presentation, a little bit of snapshot about what Cambodia is doing and where it's looking, and hopefully a little bit of visions of what Cambodia is planning to do in the coming future. But before I go into my presentation, just a quick sharing of our history. I think Cambodia has come a long way from our history. We ended a civil war in 1979, where it was one of the world atrocity where 3 million people died, and mostly educated people. So in 1979, with the help of our friend from Vietnam, we ended the civil war. And ever since then, I think the country has not had full peace and stability only in 1998. That's when we have full peace and stability, and all the different Cambodian faction comes together under one government. And since 1998, in the past 20 years, Cambodia has been progressing and developing consistently at the average of 7% GDP in the past 20 years. This is one of, I think, wonders that our leadership in the country has managed to achieve. And going forward, as projected, the country still continue to grow at a similar rate, 7%. I think this year we're doing about 7.4%. So hopefully, with a new phase and a new renewed Cambodia with a recent election, I think the country is more united now than in our history. So we're very confident and very eager in the next phase of development to push the country forward. I think especially in the era of fourth industrial revolution and digital economy, these are all very excited ideas and concept. And Cambodia has actually taken some step, and things are shaping in Cambodia as the economy grows. So a little bit of a snapshot. As you can see, our vision. Okay, which one? Green one, okay. So I'm going to touch on just 3 short areas, and given the time: visions, ICT current status, and then action plan, some of the things that we've been up to, and also some of the activities with India as well in Cambodia. So our vision is quite snapshots of what we hope to achieve. Cambodia will become a society with ICT connectedness and readiness to benefit all citizens, to reach to a new stage of sustainable development, and to strengthen competitiveness and become a knowledge economy. That's what we aim for. I think at the end of the day, it's about enriching the people, and I think knowledge, growing the knowledge as we use all this technology to empower the people. I think this is the end game that we, our country and our leadership aim for. So we have 4 strategic thrust area. One is empowering the people, focus on human resource development and awareness. Second is ensuring connectivity, that also focus on national ICT infrastructure, legal framework, cybersecurity, and then enhancing capability, focusing on ICT industry, ICT standard, and ICT research and development, and finally enriching e-services with e-government, e-commerce, e-health, e-tourism, e-education. I think our Prime Minister also coined it e-people, so we want our people to be very engaged in ICT. So the next step is the current status. So right now Cambodia is just opening up to the world. We have 2 submarine cable that is connected now to the country. And the government has announced that they will give a 4 license for submarine cable, so 2 more will be on the way. So that you can, sorry, this is the fiber optic backbone. I'm jumping a bit ahead. So currently we have only about 31,831 kilometers of fiber optic across the country. Obviously, this number needs to increase a lot in the next coming years. We know that some of our neighboring countries and some of the developed countries, numbers are in hundreds of thousands of kilometers. So there's definitely a lot of room and a lot of opportunities to grow in Cambodia. And then this is a submarine cable. At the moment, we have 2 connected, and then there's 2 more being in discussion. And this is the current snapshot. We have about 6 mobile operators, fixed operators about 8, and then about 36 ISP. Our mobile subscription is over 121%, so most people have 2 phones, especially in the cities, in urban area. And then fixed subscriptions, household broadband penetration, still small. Internet subscription is still also limited, especially in the rural area. In the rural area, there needs to be more improvement as well. But this is current statistic. We've done some project before since 2000. There's an ongoing process, a lot of learning experience in e-government and e-services. Yeah, so these are some of the projects that has been done, and also some of them are still ongoing. Government Administration Information System, Provincial Administration Information System, National Information Infrastructure, Financial Management System, Human Resource, Health, Business Registrations. Now you can register your business online. I think it takes about 7 days, but sometimes the system is down, so still ongoing. But this is some of the initiatives and the directions that the country has put a lot of emphasis on the e-services. And obviously in the future, all the system will be integrated into one big platform, which at this stage, not all the systems are connected yet. And then we can see some emerging ecosystem in e-commerce, where you can see some of the entrepreneurs setting up new new IT company, like Grab, Uber, and then we have our own thing in Cambodia called PassApp. There's a few more companies that are setting up. You can order food. So all this ecosystem, I think, very similar to what you see around the world. So our entrepreneurs are catching up in this small ecosystem. And then hopefully, I think, as infrastructure improves, more connectivity into the rural area, I think all the services will expand across the country. And also in e-commerce, payment, fintechs, all growing. Government quite open. We're still exploring and discussing about the Bitcoin and all the current electronic currency. So this is part of a discussion as well. I think this is something quite interesting as well in those space. And then in area of education and agriculture, as I think the previous speakers mentioned, there's a lot of exciting things going on in that area as well. We're still exploring those ideas as well, so that means there's definitely a lot of opportunity. Rice is a very big part of Cambodia, so we have 2.5 million hectares of rice area to cultivate. And definitely present a very big opportunities to help modernize this whole value chain. I know there's some really interesting ideas and successful case in India concerning this area, and definitely hope to learn from our neighbor as well to how to bring some of this latest ideas and technology to help modernize this sector. Education has been also a strong area of focus with the new Ministry of Education has increased its standard a lot. So that means the student has to work a lot harder than they used to, which means there's put more pressures on the system to automate and use more technology to help speed up the process. And in tech startup, you can see still at an early stage. There's co-working space, still a small number of seats, but it's at it's early stage, and it's growing rapidly every year. You can see incubator, accelerators, and then there's more programs like business plan competition. There's funding available for those competitions, and the government is also supporting, putting more resources and effort as well. So there's an initiative to set up a SME bank to help SME, and definitely there's under our ministry we have a Cambodian ICT award pushing for more creativity in our youth to compete and come up with new ideas, and joining efforts with a neighboring country, Singapore, Korea, Vietnam, and in the region to have more exchange and connectivity with the youth as well. And the next part is policy, law, and regulation. This is a big part. I think Cambodia is a bit behind on this, according to our plan and ASEAN. I think there's a number of checklists we have not checked, still ongoing progress. I'm actually very eager to work toward checking some of those items of those lists. And I think actually we have already started and most of those work, and hopefully our administrative process and our government will push it faster. I think ICT will be one of the priority area for the next coming term for our government. So we definitely see more development in this area as well. So these are some of the regulations that we passed: Cambodian ICT Master Plan 2020, and then law on telecommunications passed in December 2015. Policy on telecom ICT development was for 2020 has been launched in 2016. And then the new term, there's some revisions into some of this plan, but we have those law and framework. And currently, there's 11 licenses that you can apply for in Cambodia with the mobile phone operators license, VoIP, tower, fiber optic, submarines, so all the basic licenses. So still open. The country is actually quite open. I think some of our local businessmen complain that we're too open, but I think this is one model that I think has helped Cambodia grow to today. Oops, sorry. I think, going back, so, okay. So we also have something similar to India, the USO and R&D fund. So we took about 3% of the telco revenue to help into those funds. 2% goes to USO, will help to expand ICT and telco services across the country to connect the unconnected, and 1% into research and development. Right now, we're going to phase 4 of our rectangular strategy of our government, 2018-2023. So the priorities of our government to prepare for digital economy and fourth industrial revolution. So this is definitely on the government agenda, and I think the country is going to sort of catch-up mode, and hopefully I think I'm part of the younger generations who was born right after the war. I've been entrusted with some of the work to help push some of this initiative, and I hope that we'll realize a lot of new initiative with our neighboring country, with India, and then we're also engaging with some pilot, and hopefully I think this will help us test, I guess, some of the theories, some of the ideas and technologies that some of countries, country and developing partners have proposed, and this will determine which is the best for Cambodia, and I think that would help us speed up the process as well. To realize vision by 2020, I think it's very fast, so I came in a bit late, so I'm not sure if I can meet that deadline. But like it or not, I think we'll do our best. So these are some of the action plan that we put in place, strengthen the foundation ICT. So the infrastructure is one of the key focus in the next coming years. So we'll hope to connect to all the villages in the country, like in India, and was planning to do in 2019. I think Vietnam's already done that. So Cambodia would like to follow suit. Enhancing ICT security, promoting ICT application. So those are all a very critical components and part of the 4 area that our Cambodian government will focus on. So without further ado, I'll start my presentation here and hope to have a more productive discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency from Cambodia, and I think so a very nice overview on the ICT sector and the aspirations of the people and the country in this new digital revolution. Now we get another perspective from Lao PDR, ICT development and its opportunity in Lao PDR from Mr. Suraya, who is the Director General of Information and Communication Technology Promotion Center.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Surya Kamboravong. I'm Director General of ICT Promotion Center. I just been appointed for this position a few months ago. So ICT is new knowledge, and big challenge for me. So let me start my presentation. My presentation will include 5 topics, like introductions of Lao PDR, vision, strategy, development plan, law and regulation, ICT development, and opportunity and challenges. For this slide, I hope you know well about Laos, so I pass to the next slide. In order to achieve the master plans on ASEAN Community 2025, the government of Laos has defined the ICT vision toward 2030 by transforming the post and telecommunication service into modern industry, becoming key instrument in driving robust and sustainable socio-economic development, becoming the connection of the regions and the globe, enabling broad participation of citizens. So, how can the government of Laos reach the ICT vision target in 2030? In order to reach ICT vision target, there are 7 strategies that start from 2016 to 2025. The government of Laos must do, and there's a 5-year development plan which I will present you next. For the 7 strategy, there are human resource development, postal sector development, telecommunications and ICT infrastructure development, cybersecurity, ICT industry development, e-government development, and ICT innovation. Moreover, the government of Laos also has 5-year development plans to make sure that ICT master plan will be done efficiently and in time. Therefore, 5 years development plans was created, and it includes human resource development, postal service development, telecommunication and ICT infrastructure development, telecom and information security, innovation, e-government development, ICT industry development, cooperation, and the last one is 3-Bill devolution directive. For the last one is new policy for Laos. 3-Bill as one is build up province as strategies making unit, and second one, district as comprehensively strengthened unit, and the third one is village as development unit. So in the 5-year development plan from 2016 to 2020, there are some important targets that the government of Laos defined them to be priority, as shown in the slide. As we know, digital technology has many advantages and disadvantages in same time. In order to protect users, the government of Laos has created law and regulations to manage using technology, and so far there are 7 laws that we have. Law on electronic signature, just ongoing draft, and will be finished at the end of this year. And law on electronic data protection, law on radio frequency, law on information and communication technology, and law on cyber crime, law on postal service, and law on telecommunication. The total law and regulation, including decree and ministerial decision, we have 96. Okay. As we know, technology has been growing very quick, and some technologies had rules in our daily life. Therefore, the government of Laos focus on development the telecommunication infrastructure in order to improve the standard living of people. So from here, I would like to show about progress of developing of ICT in Laos. So since 1975, the government of Laos has found that the telecom infrastructure is the one backbone of the developing country in the future and drive economic system of the country. As the information that shows on this slide, we will see that 2G cover 94% and 3G cover 78% and 4G cover 43% of country. Laos is a small country, but we have 7 telecom and IPS operators that establish for service customers as follow. Lao Telecom or LCT, LTC, ETL Company Limited, Star Telecom, Wilpelcom, Sky Telecom, Planet Online, and Lao Satellite Company. For the national transmission network, we have 3 connection points with China, 2 connection points with Myanmar, 6 connection points with Thailand, 5 connection points with Vietnam, and 2 connection points with Cambodia. Now I will talk about the opportunities and challenges. Laos is not an ICT productive country, and moreover, we are new or junior in the field. So that's why we face many challenges. However, we have many challenges, but in these challenges also have opportunities. As from here, I will present about the opportunity. For the opportunity, we have 10 opportunities, such as investment ICT platform for digital economic, digital in transformation, in digital transformation, e-government, e-commerce, e-payment, and so on. The second one is cooperate with postal sector to transform to be fully delivery and logistics service. Cooperate with telecoms, ISP, to find a solution for lower fee and internet service, international phone call, and international roaming fee, Wi-Fi service, and so on. Connect with national transmission network, so to link neighboring country via Laos. Establish platform for new digital media such as IPTV, VOD, and so on. Local digital content, local OTT service, and internet data center. Investments for information security. And new technologies, innovation such as IoT, big data, smart city. Investment and establish digital park and ICT park for new ICT startup companies, ICT SME companies. And the last one is ICT training center, innovation lab, and digital lab. On the other hand, there are many challenges for us, such as we have small ICT market size, higher budget and cost for ICT investment, which need to promote wireless, mobile, broadband network to remote area. The second one is at landlocked country, unable to connect the submarine cable directly, higher cost for internet bandwidth for charging, slow internet connection. The third one is lack of localized and digital content live from in the ICT device. And fourth one is fast growing and ongoing charge of ICT and technology that need to keep up on law and regulations. The fifth one, lack of human resources, ICT engineering, and expert ICT digital literacy. The sixth one, duplicated infrastructures, investment, which need more collaboration with multiple stakeholders to harmonize and optimize the investment. And the last one is illegal radio frequency interface and foreign telephone internet service near the border. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. And so with this, we come to the end of the presentations. Having listened very carefully, I think so very clearly some of the points which emerge out from the presentation. Okay, sorry. We have one more presentation, Mr. Rajiv Gupta, Director of Telecommunication Consultants of India Limited. Mr. Rajiv Gupta. Sorry.
His Excellencies, dignitaries, experts, business stalwarts from India and ASEAN countries, good afternoon. I am Rajiv Gupta, Director of Projects of a government company called Telecommunications Consultant India Limited, which has been selected as an implementing agency for execution of a digital smart village project in CLMV countries. Brief outline has already been given by our ambassador, Indian ambassador to Vietnam. I won't be dwelling upon that. I would be skipping some of the slides just to keep myself in the desired limit. I would be talking about certain slides which would really go to prove that why this project, why TCIL, outlines of the project, and what is our methodology to execute the project. This is a snapshot of Indian Telecom at a glance, which has been discussed in the morning. I have just included that to show that the size of Indian market, that means India has got a huge repository of experts, which could be leveraged to execute a project in foreign countries. Another point, you can see that India has got 600,000 villages, which are grouped into 250,000 villages, and Indian government has got an ambitious plan to connect to that. Every day they are connecting it, and shortly we would be connecting all that. India has launched a very big program called Digital India. Digital India is an overarching program which comprises of many other programs. Basically, it has got 9 pillars. 9 pillars are divided into 3 categories. The first is physical infrastructure. That is broadband highways, internet to all, public internet access, universal access. This is a physical infrastructure which is being provided, over which we can provide the service. The second vertical shows the delivery of services, delivery of e-services to the citizens of the country. Whereas third is the empowerment of citizens through various means like IT for jobs, electronic manufacturing, and startup companies. So all other programs are getting really encompassed into this particular program. Now, why TCL? As I mentioned, TCL is a Government of India company which was started in 1978. The basic purpose of launching this company in 1978 was to share the Indian telecom expertise with the friendly developing countries. And TCL has done quite well during the last 40 years, in the sense that we have executed projects in nearly 60 countries of the world. So we have got a wide experience of executing projects globally, which has literally, in fact, persuaded government to give this work to us. TCL is mainly in the field of telecom consultancy and turnkey execution of a project. From concept to commissioning, we call it. TCL is a system integrator, so we design a solution based on the requirement of the client. And that is one big plus point of that, because wherever we had gone, we have got very loyal customers since then. This is a range of services of TCL. Mainly, we are operating in 3 areas. One is the telecommunication, where we provide the full bouquet of services, starting from wired lines, OSP, core network, to wireless, which may encompass satellite, microwave, and mobile solutions. Later on, we have also diversified into IT and civil projects. Of late, we are starting some new initiatives, one of which is railway signaling and solar power plant and e-waste management, considering the recent opportunities in the field. Now, these are the list of some of the projects. I won't be talking about all the projects, but I would just mention 2-3 projects which will go to prove that TCL has got sufficient expertise available in the field. The first is we are laying 13,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable for Indian defenses. This is a prestigious project which include all the new components of that, like fiber testing and monitoring system on it, optical network inventory system. TCL is in the final stages of execution of this project. In addition to that, TCL has been associated with BharatNet projects. We have been talking about that. BharatNet projects, we have been providing consultancy and also acting as a PMC for a few states, and recently been awarded some of the projects. These are a list of ICT projects, and I will here mainly mention 2 projects which would be relevant to the project which we are talking about. One is Pan-Africa E-Network project. Basically, this was a very important project which was started at the behest of our President, Mr. Abdul Kalam. The intention of this project was to provide Indian expertise in the field of basically education and health to the African nations. Means we are going to connect 54 countries of the African Union, wherever we would be providing telemedicine, teleconsultation, tele-education services to all these 54 countries. So we had a patient end location there. We had got a educational end location there. And we had a tie-up with prestigious Indian hospitals and universities, through which we could impart the education facilities. And a lot of students have taken advantage of that, and they have completed their diploma and degree courses using this infrastructure. The project has been again revived in a new shape. Now, earlier it used to be on physical infrastructure, means we had a dedicated submarine connectivity to the African continent, and from there we were beaming it through RESCOM satellite. Now it is all based on internet. Internet means this is a web-based solution which could be extended to other countries also. So that really goes to prove that TCL has got a sufficient expertise in the field of providing telemedicine, teleeducation, and e-governance services. That is the reason I've included that. Now I specifically come to the project, what we have been talking about. I just skipped that because all of us know that there is a huge demand for data in the coming years. Now, digital connectivity has got a lot of challenges. Upgrading internet bandwidth is always complex and expensive. There are various reasons for that, and there are various options available for us. Either we can increase the available bandwidth, we can build a new fiber infrastructure, we can enhance capacity of transport rings, We can have a last mile on fiber. There are various options which have been just mentioned there. And as can be seen from the various presentations, internet penetration is an issue in ASEAN countries, especially in the rural areas. And that is the reason why this digital smart village in the rural areas has been selected as a project for execution by Indian government. Now, again, enhancement of digital connectivity has got a lot of merits. We have been talking about that. We have seen that in case we are able to take digital connectivity to the village, it's going to spur a different ecosystem altogether. It will drive socio-economic modernization. It will spur the economic growth over there. And we can provide the e-governance services to the citizens who are staying in the remote part of the country. From there, we can provide telemedicine, we can provide tele-education. Now, this is the ASEAN ICT Master Plan 2020. I will not go into that. Basically, it just goes to say that all ASEAN countries have to put more emphasis on generating digitally enabled economy. Now, based on that, as already mentioned by Ambassador, Government of India has decided to give grant to 4 countries initially, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, to roll out a smart and digital village. Now, what is the purpose of that? That has been captured here, digital connectivity to the unserviced rural areas. Second is to provide all the services using ICT, like internet, IoT, e-health, e-education, e-commerce, and e-governance. It would be rolled out using Indian expertise, using Indian equipment, which is well tested, and Indian e-governance expertise, which is also proven worldwide. Now, based on that, based on success of that, the project could be replicated elsewhere within the same country or in other ASEAN countries. Now, these are the benefits which are envisaged by this project. We can have a connected home, connected schools, connected health centers. We can have connected police stations. Through this project, we can provide e-education. We can have a live consultation, and also continuous medical education could be provided using that. And all government applications which have been rolled out or planned to be rolled out can ride on this network. The project will create a network. Now, we are open to that. In fact, we are in talk with the various recipient countries or government to ascertain their requirement. We would be using a combination of services on technology for providing connectivity to these villages. It could be a backbone, it could be a suitable access technology using wired or wireless. We also intend to provide the services over this network. And to maintain the network, we would be setting up a NOC, Network Operations Center, so that project remains operational. Capacity building and hand-holding is a part of that, so that project remains sustainable even after the implementation of the project. Wherever required, we can provide even solar light or green light, sites. There has been a requirement from few of the administrations that they would like to have a common service center or community service center where all the villagers can avail the services which are being offered by that. So that could also be included in this particular project. There could be, in fact, we have seen that during our survey, there is always a primary health center in a village, there is always a school, and there is a, they call it a local administrative office. So connectivity to these 3 is intended to be provided in addition to providing data connectivity to other villagers living there using wireless media so that they can avail those services using their mobile handset. We have seen that connectivity is good in many parts of this region, but that is only mobile connectivity. That is a voice connectivity. If we go in the interior, then data connectivity is still an issue. This project is going to bridge that gap. Basically, it is a project which is going to bridge the gap between the urban and rural population. Capacity building, I had mentioned already a part of that. Now, what do we intend to do that? Basically, we want it to be a part of your network. So these are the desirable network features which we intend to include in this particular project. The best is network infrastructure. What we are going to provide should be scalable. Means later on, we can upgrade the facilities, we can expand it as per your requirement. Secondly, connectivity. It should be able to seamlessly connect to the existing network which is available. Third is we will try to leverage existing infrastructure so that there is no duplicity of the resources. Fourth is we intend to, as mentioned, that we really would like to handle that, try to develop some models which could make the whole project self-sustainable. Secondly, we would like to have NOC also so that it could be remotely monitored and we can provide a good quality of service. These are some of the architecture which we intend to use that. I would be skipping them, sir, because that means that depending on an individual country's requirement, terrain, we can select a technology. The main purpose is we want to go to the rural village and we provide connectivity there along with the services. These are some of the, we have considered all the possible options. It could be a fiber optic, it could be a radio backhaul, it could be a radio access network, and it could be even satellite in case required. Our team has already visited these 4 CLMV countries. We have captured their requirement. We are working on that. Maybe we need to again fine-tune our proposal based on the input which we intend to receive from them. These are some of the snapshots of the countries. I would be skipping that, and I would simply go to the last slide, where we can say the finding of our visit to these countries. We have seen that all the countries have shown interest to accept the offer of Government of India to roll out the digital and smart project. That was a basic finding of that. Secondly, country wanted to include e-governance, telemedicine, teleeducation as an integral part of the project. It has been observed that even if connectivity is good, but e-governance is not at a desired level, and all the countries have shown their deep interest to include that. In fact, we would be opting for 2 sets of village. One, where we can have a fiber rollout so that we can showcase our products in that. Second, in the interior area, where connectivity has still not been provided. In fact, this is a final slide, sir. This is the approach what we would be adopting there. We are going to provide connectivity to a cluster of village, which is called commune in this part of the world. Commune may comprise of around 9 to 10 villages, and commune is something like a panchayat of India, and every commune has got basic facilities in that. In fact, we have observed, as I mentioned, that everywhere they have got a primary, secondary school, they have got a health center, they have got a government application. So we intend to provide direct connectivity to these. Secondly, we would like to have skilling as a part of that. Capacity building would be a part of that so that it could be taken over once the project is implemented. We initially intend to have, after execution of project, maintenance, operation and maintenance of the project for a few years so that the project becomes sustainable and it really delivers what is intended to be delivered there. I'm quite sure that with the help of all the 4 administrations, we would be able to roll out this project at a speedy pace and we are committed and we would be achieving the desired objective of empowerment of citizens. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta, and I'm sorry for missing you out. I think so. We've had a long session, but very, very interesting. And if I were to sum up, I would say definitely we know that there are various levels of ICT development across the ASEAN region, and particularly when we are focusing on the CLMV countries. And see a challenge or the aspiration, whether it's in the field of connectivity, whether it's in the field of investment, or whether it's in the field of security. Those are the three threads which run across in the aspiration of any nation to move forward, as very correctly pointed out, that the digital economy and the digital technology has a high contribution to the GDP and the potential it has. In the morning session, we heard that it can be as high as 35% of the GDP contribution coming through the digital sector. And most of the presentation which I saw were largely into this bracket of 6 to 7%, and that's where the gap is. But at the same time, we have the challenge of digital empowerment, addressing the digital divide, and ensuring the connectivity is reached to all parts of the country, and the connected, unconnected are connected. The levels of economic development, and therefore the role of business and the role of government becomes very, very important. And I think so. I also would like to point out that what we have done in India is, besides providing fiber connectivity across the country, for which the project is going on, similar kind of, which we heard from what Vietnam has already done, but we heard Laos and Cambodia, where there is a huge scope of fiber network, digital connectivity, and another important aspect, and I think so, that's very much required, is how do you have a financial inclusion? How do you use the ICT technology for the financial inclusion? And there in our country, we have Jan Dhan Yojana, which is providing opening of bank accounts and digitization and ICT for the banks. And in fact, now we have, from the postal department, wherever the post offices are, we have allowed the post offices also to provide banking services, so that the coverage throughout the country in areas which are unbanked also get covered. And I think so that is something which the ministries are the same communication and post, and that's where that role can be looked into. Another issue, I think so, which is on the aspect of Aadhaar, and the Aadhaar in India as what we call is a unique identification for any individual, which can be used for identification of individual, for taking various government benefits, for banking operations, for it's like equivalent to the social security number we have in the United States. That unique number, which is digitally protected and which is with a fingerprint and a retina, is able to provide a unique identification to everyone with that number, and that can be used for leveraging various digital opportunities. And lastly, the e-governance part and the reach through the citizens service centers has been it's reaching out in India, and I think so those are some of the lessons similarly placed at various levels of development, economic development in the ASEAN region, and especially in the CLMV region countries. It's something where India is ready to partner, India is ready to provide the necessary support and talk with the business to business and also at the government to government level. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patient hearing. And probably we have a lunch, tea break before we move to the next session. Thank you so much, and thanks for the lovely participants. Thank you once again.